It will be the 96th time the Wave and the Rams meet to settle their differences. Darien was victorious the last time these two teams competed, but New Canaan has not lost a Turkey Bowl since 2016. This year, it's coming back to Darien High School, and as always, we're ready for it. Welcoming you from the stadium field, I'm Dylan DeRiso alongside Braden Shank for the second ever edition of High School Game Day presented by DAF Media. We are closing in on kickoff, and Braden, soon enough we will be right back out here Thanksgiving morning for the most highly anticipated game of the year. Yeah, it's the highlight of the season for both of these squads. Both coaches, players, families, and communities have just been counting down the days to Turkey Bowl 28, and it's almost here, and it's very exciting to see this game play out. The conditions here this morning for us, 35 degrees, windy, similar to the conditions that we should be seeing on game day. Yeah, you know, football's a game played in these brutal weather, and both of these teams are known for their rushing games to start, and I think with this colder weather, it's just going to get the running backs of Telesco and Wilson going even more so. The passing game might see a little bit of a decrease this year, especially the kicking game. I know could see a decrease, but Tigeroff has definitely battled the worst elements in this, so it's going to be interesting what both these teams do. As we mentioned earlier, for Darien, this game returns to the friendly confines of the stadium field here at home. The last time this game was played here, though, things did not look good for the Wave, and for New Canaan, there was a lot to celebrate. Yeah, Darien, they sent their fans home disappointed in 2019. They were blanked by the Rams 20-0, a game that the offense just couldn't get going for Darien. The New Canaan defense was really the MVP of that game, and they rode that to I think it was their second or third straight Turkey Bowl win in 2019. So they played well. Darien just couldn't get the job done at their home field. And you got to keep in mind, in 2022, Darien's already lost 2 games at home here this year. They lost to Maloney and Greenwich. They're only 500 at the Darien High School Stadium field, looking to rewrite that and get the home field advantage back on their side. Braden, that successful defense from New Canaan, a theme we saw in the last Turkey Bowl too, a very low-scoring affair. Why don't you walk us through it? One of the lowest-scoring Turkey Bowls in recent memory, and it was an offensive stalemate at Dunning Field. The offensive likes of Miles Drake and Ty Comiskey, as well as Henry Cunny and Vig Cognetta for the Rams, were all kept at bay in that one. This stalemate would see the Rams get the best of the Wave 12-7 as Rams fans stormed the field at Dunning Stadium. It was the 4th straight Turkey Bowl that the Rams had taken over Darien, and the Wave continued their drought of another bowl. The eventual state champion, Blue Wave, did get another shot at New Canaan a couple weeks later back at Dunning. That one went a little bit differently. Yeah, it's a whole different game in December come state playoff football, and Darien put that Turkey Bowl loss behind them, and they were able to beat the Rams 14-10. They applied the early pressure. Welcome back to High School Game Day. Dylan DeRiso, Braden Shank. Now, Braden, this is the fun part. Let's take a look around the area at some of the other Turkey Bowl games going on. We have a great slate of games here on this Thanksgiving week. We have crosstown rivals meeting, powerhouses battling it out, and then brand new rivalries being formed in 2022. Starting in Richfield, we have our standalone kickoff game on Wednesday night. The Richfield Tigers will take on the Danbury Hatters from Richfield. And that's a game that the Tigers sit in 9th place in the Class LL standings, needing a win to make the playoff push and try to get into the top 8. As for Danbury, they're on the outside looking in. They had a nice winning streak to start the season, but have cooled down as of late, having lost their last 3 games. So both the Tigers and the Hatters will look to end their season off with a bang. Again, that game is Wednesday night, so not on Thanksgiving, but a good way to kick off this slate of games. Moving over to Westport, we see one of our most intriguing matchups of the morning. We see the 8-1 Staples Wreckers battle the 8-1 Greenwich Cardinals, and we know this Greenwich team. They came to Darien. They have the offensive likes of Jack Wilson, the running game with Von Velakis, Konigsberg. On the defense, Galetta leading them. So this is a team that can do damage anywhere on the field, and the Cardinals just need one win to clinch the FCAC regular season title. So one win for the Cardinals, they have themselves an FCAC trophy, and if Staples win, they will force one giant tiebreaker for the FCAC trophy. So that game is Thanksgiving morning at Staples Stadium. At Walter Kennedy Stadium in Stamford, we see the Stamford High Black Knights take on the West Hill Vikings in the Battle of Stamford. A year ago, they met at Boyle Stadium, and both teams entered winless. In 2022, the 3-6 Knights will battle the 2-7 Vikings in a game that both teams will look to take home the heart of Stamford. In Trumbull, the magical season of St. Joseph is looking to cap off their season with a win against crosstown foe Trumbull High.
The 8-1 Hogs enter play in first place of the Class L standings. As for Trumbull, they sit in the middle of the Class L standings. So this game means a lot for both of these teams, and it's going to be an offensive field day at Dowling Field. You know the names for the Hogs: Will Singwald, Brandon Hutchison, Riley Jordan, and they're going to go up against their Trumbull counterparts and Luca D'Antonio, Hunter Augustine, and Rowan Johnston. These have been two of the biggest offenses this entire season, and they're going to be going up against each other for the Battle of Trumbull in 2022. Moving over to Taft Field, we have the Battle of Fairfield, where the 5-4 Fairfield Ward Mustangs will take on the 4-5 Fairfield Ludlow Falcons. This is a game that both teams have already been eliminated from the playoff contention, so neither team really can make the playoff push, but they're both going to look to win over Fairfield and try to take down a crosstown rival in a huge game for Fairfields. Shifting over to Bridgeport, Connecticut, we see one of the oldest rivalries in the FCAC, the Bridgeport Central Hilltoppers taking on the Warren Harding Presidents. Both of these teams are winless this season at 0-9, but this will be the 101st time that the Hilltoppers and Presidents meet. This is a rivalry that dates all the way back to the 1920s, and they will take center stage at John F. Kennedy Stadium in Bridgeport to what should be a sold-out stadium. In our final game is the Battle of Norwalk. The 1-8 Norwalk Bears taking on the 3-6 Brian McMahon Senators. This is a game that both teams have struggled this season. The Bears graduating the likes of Cam Edwards to graduation in the spring. He's now off running for the UConn Huskies. And as for Brian McMahon, they just have struggled throughout this season on the offense and defense. So both the Norwalk Bears and the Brian McMahon Senators will enter evenly matched to look to bring their A game on Thanksgiving morning at Casa Grande Field.
Certainly a lot of great action across the FCAC for this Thanksgiving week. Now let's get back to our Turkey Bowl, and there's one specific thing I want to mention. That's the uniforms. We're going to be getting more of a classic look this time around. In recent years, we've seen Darien and New Canaan both electing to wear black in their home Turkey Bowl campaigns. This year, Darien coming with the blue out, New Canaan with the likely white out. That choice, of course, up to the captains, and we talked to those same captains about the Turkey Bowl, so let's see what they had to say.
And being like, big guys on campus is a huge feeling, and it feels amazing, honestly. It's like, we worked so hard all year for this, and playing, for a game, first day playoff spot, it's just amazing. It feels so good.
There's always nerves going into the Turkey Bowl. I mean, especially when you're playing a good team like Darien, and every single year it's a different show. It's the same show with just a different cast of characters.
You grow up as a DJFL player, you're always looking forward to the Turkey Bowl, especially your senior Turkey Bowl. So I know all of us are really excited for that.
Growing up in those stands watching the Turkey Bowl, there's so many great memories, some okay ones, but, we're feeling really motivated right now, honestly. I've seen guys the most excited they've been all year, so we're really excited.
Big game, but, it's another one of the games on the schedule, and we're looking to, beat them and then move on to the playoffs.
It's just a chance, for any team to stamp their legacy on the program, and, I'm excited to, write that next chapter for this team.
Now let's go through some of the strengths offensively and defensively for both of these teams. We're going to start with the Darien offense.
Yeah, you can't talk about this Darien offense without mentioning the running back, Jake Wilson. Currently with 771 yards and 12 touchdowns this season, Jake has been at the core of this Darien offense. Wilson's been dealing with an injury that's kept him out the past 2 weeks, and it's going to be interesting if he's as good as new come game day. On the receiving end, Trevor Herget is the main name. It seems like acrobatic plays are just routine for him, and he's been mossing players all over the field this year with senior starting quarterback Simeon Dahl. Dahl, of course, with 1,746 passing yards and 21 passing touchdowns on the season. Darien has struggled to convert in the red zone all season, and it's going to be the big question mark emerging game day.
And Braden, you talked about Jake Wilson. I talked to him this week. He said he's riled up, ready to go for the Turkey Bowl, but as far as whether he will play or not, that'll be a game-time decision. Braden, you also can't forget about senior captain James Tom, the Tufts commit leading that offensive line who's been supporting Wilson this year. That'll certainly be a factor for the Darien offense. Now let's look at the New Canaan's offense, because they've been pretty successful themselves.
They have indeed a much different look from head coach Lou Marinelli's squad, graduating the likes of Henry Tunney and Vin Cognetta, but luckily he has the two-way athlete of Ty Groff to step up and fill that vacancy at the quarterback position. Groff is joined by senior running back Hunter Telesco in the backfield. This is a Rams team that is rush heavy, as Telesco has seen 129 carries for 950 yards and 14 touchdowns on the season. Compare that to only 3 passing touchdowns from the Rams all season. A big part of that was injuries. Groff missed the first 3 games at quarterback with an injury. Preseason wide receiver 1 on the depth chart, Max Alert, having an ACL injury that has kept him sidelined all season. And top rushing option, Dom Rasso, has also been sidelined for the season. So the next man up mentality for the Rams has really been present this season.
Certainly, Lou Marinelli's offense have seen its fair share of adversity, we must say. Let's talk about their defense, though.
Yeah, New Canaan, this is the defense that New Canaan fans are accustomed to seeing, the same defense that has showed up and played in the past 2 Turkey Bowls and has been present all season. Last year in the Turkey Bowl, senior Chad Russo broke the school's record for sacks. With his departure, the likes of Matthew Salmini, Walker Blair, Will Pepe, and Javier Perez Soto have stepped up for this team. The Rams defense has only surrendered 82 points all season. In the secondary, 22 turnovers in favor of the defense, including 13 fumble recoveries. New Canaan will make you pay with an error on the running game, or really an error anywhere on the field. If New Canaan's defense shows up on game day against Darien, it's going to be a tough time for Simeon Dahl and co.
I think we can both agree that the defenses are certainly the strengths of these teams. So let's take a look at the Darien defense now.
Oh boy, 28 points against number 2 Greenwich, 21 against number 3 Maloney, and 14 points against number 5 St. Joe's. All 3 of those season lows for those respective squads. That has been the story of the Darien D in 2022, not giving up that many points to the good teams, with the big-time tacklers such as Leighton Reeser and J.D. Brennan hurrying the quarterback, and the D-line of Jack Barber, Carter Hagan, and Dash Ross snuffing the opposition rush. The Darien defense has been the most consistent part of this team this year. Robert McElhouse leads the secondary with his 2 interceptions, and the Williams-bound Jack Barber leads the team with 3 sacks. You also can't forget about J.D. Brennan leading the squad with 61 tackles. All 3 seniors that have been tearing it up this year. Darien has given up big gains, which is their big flaw, but their consistency is key, making crucial 3rd and 4th down stops or even getting the big tackles for losses. These are 2 defensive-heavy teams, and I think once these teams take to the field for game day, it's going to be a defensive battle.
Certainly, Braden. Let's not forget about the coaches. Lou Marinelli, the longtime New Canaan legend, Mike Forget, in his 2nd year as head coach for the Wave, trying to lead them back to the playoffs. We talked to both of them about the Turkey Bowl, so let's see what they had to say.
It's a huge game because it's always against, rival New Canaan. Anytime we can beat them, it's fantastic. Last year was... it was a little disappointing that we lost on Thanksgiving, but we turned around a week and a half later and we beat them and went on to win a state championship. So we'll take that over Turkey Bowl anytime. But, this year it's about the Turkey Bowl and getting into the playoffs, and, it's a huge game for us.
I think this game is all that's good about high school football. It's 2 really solid communities come together to watch their team play on Thanksgiving. It's such a great tradition. There'll be a big crowd. The kids at Darien are looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. But it's always so exciting. It's just a great venue.
This year's game slated to have some of the highest stakes we've seen for a Turkey Bowl in a long time, and I think we're both just anxious to get it started. But for now, that should do it here from High School Game Day at the Stadium Field. For Braden Shank, I'm Dylan DeRiso. Special thanks to our advisor, Damian Andrew, and we cannot wait to see you all on Thanksgiving morning.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England. All made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the 2nd school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there, as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field.
Channel 12 Sports presents high school football action. Today, the 64th renewal of the football game between the Blue Wave of Darien and the New Canaan Rams. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Darien High School, and hope you're having a happy Thanksgiving. Up, and Lou Marinelli just took a bath.
Touchdown, New Canaan! He lost it! It's recovered by Christian Trafone! And it's over! This one is gonna be done!
Owen Shin hitting the hole, and he's gone for a touchdown.
Punt over the middle. Touchdown, New Canaan. And that ball is picked off by New Canaan.
Forward, Drake dropping back. He's headed for the end zone. This ball deep on the near side is falling incomplete. No time left. That will do it. New Canaan wins the Turkey Bowl 12-7. That will.
It's here, another chapter of the Turkey Bowl. The marquee game on the schedule, the storied rivalry. Two communities rooted in tradition, two football powerhouses. Darien and New Canaan, or New Canaan and Darien. The Blue Wave comes in 6-3, controlling their own destiny. Needing a win to make the state playoff cut, the Wave will leave it all on the field with no guarantee for a tomorrow. Meanwhile, in New Canaan, the winning culture remains. The Rams have looked unstoppable, an impressive 8-1 this far, and are looking to advance their playoff seeding. A Rams team having swept the last 4 bowls. A Darien team looking for revenge with home field advantage on their side. All this, prelude to the most storied rivalry in Fairfield County. A rivalry dating back almost 100 years. A rivalry that is tradition on Thanksgiving morning. A rivalry that features the Rams and the Wave. A rivalry that is the Turkey Bowl.
We welcome you sideline here at the Darien High School Stadium Field. Braden Shank to my left, Dylan DeRiso, and to my right, Gray Tomasco. And guys, it's the premier game of the season. The 8-1 Blue Wave taking on the 6-3 New Canaan Rams. And for the 28th time, this rivalry will take place on Thanksgiving morning. Gray, I'm going to start with you. New Canaan enters the favorites. In this one, it's 8-1 on the season. They lost a regular season game to St. Joseph. But other than that, this team has been dominant. What is the mentality like for head coach Lou Marinelli's squad?
Well, Coach Lou Marinelli has been getting the boys ready for weeks. They had a 6:30 church service this morning and a 7:30 breakfast. These boys, the culture is up. They are ready to play. The Rams are looking to keep their streak alive this year for the Turkey Bowl, as well as looking to shut Darien out of the state playoffs.
New Canaan has won the last 4 Turkey Bowls, looking to make it a 5th today. And Dylan, there's a team that's trying to stop them, and that's the Darien Blue Wave. They come in 6-3 today, controlling their own destiny for the state playoffs, needing a win to make the playoff cut. So it's a win-or-go-home game for Darien today. How has that played into their weekly preparation?
New Milford picked up a win Tuesday night, so Darien needs it today. It's not often that we see Darien coming into the Turkey Bowl with a record like 6-3. We saw them coming in undefeated the past 2 Turkey Bowls. They need this win. These players are ready to go. They're riled up. I know James Tom, Jake Wilson, all the captains are hyping the boys up because this is a must-win game. And you know, with the game like the Turkey Bowl, it's the biggest game in the state. The players on both sides of the field are going to be bringing it.
It is indeed. We're now going to send you the 4th member of our team, Cameron McGraw, with more on the offenses we're going to see today.
Yeah, guys, a big part of this Darien team has been quarterback Simeon Dahl, who's been steadily improving since the first game of the season to bring this Darien team to 6-3. Helping them today is Jake Wilson, who's coming back from an injury. And then finally, last but not least, Trevor Herget, who's been playing amazing so far this season. Triple-digit receptions in each of his last 3 games. A huge part of this Darien team. We'll see how they play against this stout New Canaan defense. Back to you guys with more.
Thank you, Cam, and that's going to jump us into our pregame show. First, taking a look at the running backs. In this one, as Cam mentioned, 2 run-heavy teams that we're going to see for New Canaan. It's their running back in Hunter Telesco, and for Darien, it's Jake Wilson. Telesco has been the star of this New Canaan team, Gray, and he's had to battle through some injuries on other players that has given him the starting position. But what's the impact that Hunter has on this team?
Look, Hunter has led this Rams offense this season with 15 total touchdowns. Telesco is looking to break 1,000 rushing yards today. He recently changed from wide receiver to running back this season with the injury due to Dom Rosso earlier in this preseason. The Rams are counting on Telesco for big breakaway runs, which have led the Rams to their 8-1 record this season.
And Dylan, a player like Jake Wilson, he's been battling an injury the past couple weeks, forcing Clifton Sheldon to start in his place, but the word we have gotten is that he's game time decision and will play today. So how is Jake going to play into this Darien game plan today?
Yep, Jake will be playing today, and he does not let injuries affect him. Jake's a big, tough, hard-nosed runner, and Darien's been utilizing him a lot this season. 146 carries on the year, averaging 110 yards per game. He's got 12 touchdowns, 771 total rushing yards this season. Darien loves the ground and pound with Jake Wilson, so he's definitely the guy you need to watch out for on offense.
Those are the running backs, and you can't forget about the wide receivers we're going to see today for New Canaan, the freshman James McInerney, and for Trevor, the overall athlete. For Darien, the overall athlete, and Trevor Herget, he can spike a volleyball, catch a pass, he can do it all. So those are your 2 wide receiver comparison there. Dylan, starting with Trevor, he went two ways a couple weeks ago, and he's just made such an impact on this Darien team.
Yeah, he gets his vertical jumping ability from his skills on the volleyball court inside. Trevor can go up and get the ball anywhere. We saw him mossing his way down the field against Wilton a few weeks back for that big comeback victory. And, you know, when Simeon Dahl's in trouble, he'll look downfield for Trevor. He'll throw the ball up. Trevor will go up there, and he will come down with it every single time.
And, Gray, a player like James McInerney, the sole freshman for head coach Lou Marinelli, he hasn't seen the end zone on the receiving end, but he leads his team with 15 receptions.
Right, McInerney might not have the strongest stats on the field, but he's a very strong asset to this Rams offense. He has 2 rushing touchdowns on the season in an offense that only has 3 total receiving touchdowns. McInerney's very strong in yards after contact category, and I'm very excited to see what he's going to do today.
So those are going to be the offenses, and we can't forget about the 5th member of our broadcast team, Danielle O'Malley, who's on the sideline with more on the defenses.
Thanks, guys. Yes, the New Canaan season has definitely been a story of defense this year under head coach Lou Marinelli and defensive coordinator Chris Silvestri. The defense has only allowed 69 points across the season in their 9 games, resulting in their 18-1 record. Some defensive threats today will be senior Tucker Milligan, who's coming back off of a shoulder injury. He has 2 interceptions on the season, one of which broke a school record for 99 yards in the Wilton game. Senior Darien quarterback Simeon Dahl will have a big threat in senior middle linebacker Matt Salmini, who has 62.5 tackles on the season with an average of 6.9 per game. He also has 4.5 sacks on the season and 3 interceptions. Senior New Canaan quarterback Ty Groff will have a similar threat in Darien senior linebacker Leighton Reeser, who has 38 tackles on the season, 9 of which were for loss. Guys, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you for that, Danielle. And guys, it's the premier game. There's so much history and tradition going into this game. I'm going to start with you, Dylan. What's this game mean for the players?
I think for both players on both sides of the field, this is everything. This is the game that you circle on your schedule every single season. Darien New Canaan, this is the 96th time that they've met, I believe, the 28th Turkey Bowl. It's the biggest rivalry every year. Both teams bring it no matter how good each team is. They're going to bring it. You're going to expect to see a close game. Obviously, we've seen some dominance in recent years from New Canaan, but 12-7 last year was a close one. The two teams met a couple weeks later. Darien came out on top in that one. It's just a battle. It's always a battle. These two teams will come out on the field hating each other and attacking each other all day.
They will indeed, and we've got so much festivities on this Thanksgiving morning. We've got awards, we've got sportsmanship awards, but first to get us started, we're going to send you over to midfield with the Darien High School Tutor Singers led by the direction of Chris Andrade, who will sing the God Bless America. Beautiful rendition of God Bless America there, and the Tutor Singers, just so much talent on there. We got talent on the defensive end as well, as we're now going to take a look at our defensive comparison. Two players to watch for New Canaan. They have the likes of Matt Salmini. This kid can make the tackles, make the sacks. He even had a one-handed pick six against the St. Joe's Hogs a couple weeks ago. So Gray, a player like Matt Salmini, can just make a difference anywhere on the field.
Let me tell you, Braden, he's been my player to watch this entire season. Salmini is easily the most dominant player on this Rams defense. He has 3 interceptions, including a one-hand grab pick six against St. Joe's earlier this season. With 9 tackles per game, he's expected to be all over everybody's stat sheets today.
He is indeed. In Darien, they've got the likes of Leighton Reeser, comes from a long line of football players. Leighton just the most recent addition, and he makes such an impact on this linebacker core. And when he's compared with guys such as Robert McElhose and Jack Barber, they make this dangerous group for this Darien defense.
Leighton's got 57 tackles on the season. He's been a major player for the Wave, but I think bringing up Leighton Reeser is also an opportunity to talk about the other linebackers. J.D. Brennan, Mac McGarren. Mac McGarren had a pick a couple games ago against Norwalk. J.D. Brennan, the tackle leader. They love to send Leighton Reeser and J.D. Brennan into the backfield on blitzes, and that'll be a huge impact. He'll be an impact player in that regard today.
It will indeed, and the defense it's going to be a defensive battle, as we talked about. Both these offenses have struggled this season, so it's going to come down to which defense can have a better impact, stop the opposition. This is a New Canaan team that hasn't given up a single point in first quarters this season, so it's going to be interesting how that plays off. So those are the players to watch. You can't forget about the coaches, though. 2 veteran skippers out there for New Canaan in his 41st season and 28th Turkey Bowl. Lou Marinelli will lead this New Canaan Rams team, and Mike Forget back for his 2nd season for Darien. What are the coaches like for Dylan?
Marinelli's been here 41 seasons. He's coached for every single Turkey Bowl. He knows the Darien team front and back. He knows how to play them. He knows this atmosphere, and he'll handle it super well. And that's going to be a big thing that Darien's going to have to fight against is the coaching. Mike Forget in his 2nd season, still relatively inexperienced as a head coach, still has to prove himself. They won the state championship last year with a team that had so much natural talent. This year, Darien not as good on paper, but Forget is going to have to step it up, as well as the rest of the coaching staff, to compete against Marinelli.
They will indeed, and we're now going to take a look at Darien running out of the tunnel here, Gray, and you're just going to see on your screen, this place is rallied up for Darien. This fan base is going to give Darien the home field advantage. How is it going to be like for New Canaan to try to come in today and try to take down the Blue Wave on the Wave's home turf?
Right, I think New Canaan's mindset coming into this game is to block out the noise and really zone in on what they focused on for the last few weeks in practice. I know a lot of the New Canaan players have been very excited for this game. A lot of them, it'll be their first Turkey Bowl, and most of them, their first Turkey Bowl starting.
Great. We remember, too, New Canaan beat Darien 20-0 the last time they came here, so I'm sure they're feeling hyped up for this one. Darien's got to defend their home turf now after failing to the last time the Turkey Bowl was here in 2019.
They were indeed, and you would remember, Dylan, in that 2019 game, the quarterback for New Canaan, now starting for the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. I think you've heard of them, Drew Pine, that kid, and he led this New Canaan team, such a good effort, 20-0, and that was one of the recent Turkey Bowls that New Canaan has won. They've won the last 4, dating back to 2016, so the Blue Wave has not had their luck at beating New Canaan in a Turkey Bowl. And what do you think Darien needs to do to try to put that behind them almost and focus on this year?
I think they need to forget about the past. This year, Darien is coming in a lot different than they have in the past. New Canaan's got the better record this year. That hasn't been the case recently. Darien is the underdog. That hasn't been the case recently. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think we can agree, like it has the past few years. Darien needs to come into this one expecting a different kind of game, and we'll see what they can do to take on New Canaan. New Canaan is definitely the favorite, and they're a super strong team this year.
They are indeed, and here comes the Blue Wave of Darien sprinting their way out of this high school. And you can tell these guys are fired up. Mike Forget told them they were on a mission, and they're going to come in and try to make something happen here today in this Turkey Bowl. An electric atmosphere at Darien High School, to say the least, as there's Simeon Dahl last to run out for this Darien team. To wrap up our pregame show, we have the keys to the game in this one for both of these guys. I'm going to start with you, Gray. What are the keys to the game for New Canaan?
Right, for New Canaan, the keys to this game are going to be to keep their offense rolling. Hopefully we'll see them air the ball out a lot more as they've been trying to do so this season. Another big key to the game is to pick up on Darien's errors. Quarterback Simeon Dahl can get very wild out of the pocket and make desperate throws, which lead to his 7 interceptions this season. Another large key to the game for this Rams team is to contain Darien's defensive line. Watch out for players like Dash Ross and Jack Barber, who will be a threat to Groff.
They will indeed. And Dylan, what are the keys to the game for Darien?
Look, as I mentioned earlier, it's probably going to be a defensive-dominated game. It's going to be a low-scoring game, so that means that Darien's going to have to capitalize when they get into the red zone. If they get into the red zone, they need to score touchdowns in order to win this one. They also need to make smart passes. Simeon Dahl needs to stay under control, try to avoid making errant passes. When he's outside of the pocket, stay calm, don't panic, make the smart play. Finally, Darien's got to fight all 48 minutes. So does New Canaan. Whoever wants it more today is going to come out on top, so you got to put in maximum effort. Who's willing to put in that extra yard? Who's willing to go just a little bit further to get the win?
I don't know about you, Gray. Dylan just got me fired up for this game right here. Turkey Bowl 28 between the Darien Blue Wave and the New Canaan Rams coming right up. We're going to step aside as the coin toss will come as coin toss will ensue. We'll be right back on the DAF Media Network and NCTV.
Direct your attention midfield for the point.
That was really good. That was perfect timing, Tim.
Put your backs here. Put your backs here. All right. Good luck. Good luck.
flower in the air, and we are just about ready for Turkey Bowl 28. Both student sections fired up for this one. You see right there the New Canaan section, they brought their baby powder. Darien brought the flour, and it's going to be an exciting one here on Thanksgiving morning. And guys, do you think we're going to see any of that early nerves coming into this opening kickoff?
Personally, I don't think so. I think these players are coming into this one ready. They've been preparing all week. Darien for the last 2 weeks. They had the bye, if we recall. They're coming in excited. They want to start this game already. They've been anxious all morning. They woke up early, team breakfast. They had team dinner last night. All they've been wanting to do for the past 24 hours is play this game, and now they finally get the chance.
Right, and I think back in practice, it's not just the last week that these players have been practicing for this game. It's the last month. It's the last year. This is the most highly anticipated matchup of some of these seniors' careers and everybody else on the team. This is a very exciting game for everyone, coaches, players, fans. Can't wait to see kickoff.
Hagen and Gettner back for the Rams, and Trevor Herget will kick us away to get it started in Turkey Bowl 28. Trevor Herget, he will trot his way back. The Darien team won the toss, deferred to the second half. So they will get the ball in the second. New Canaan will get the first offense, and we'll get the first look at Ty Groff in a bit. But Trevor Herget will check his lines in this one. And we are underway in Turkey Bowl 28. Hagen receives it at the 10. It lets it bounce. It's going back to the end zone. He gets it at the 2. Hagen's now back with it. And he will be taken down before he drags his way down to the 10-yard line. A good start for Darien.
That's something that these New Canaan players are going to have to struggle with on this drive. The sun and Ty Groff's eyes are going to be very challenged over this drive, and Brendan Hagen wasn't able to see that ball and come down with it, and unfortunately that's something the Rams are going to have to deal with.
Not the best start for New Canaan on this one. They'll get the ball on their own 13-yard line as we have a holding already, our first penalty. Nonetheless, it still will keep the ball somewhat back in New Canaan's zone, so not what New Canaan would like to start with, but it's a deck of cards they were dealt with right now.
Darien's got to be excited with that. I mean, the sun played to their favor right there, and they came down the field, tackled them down. Looks to be, that's the 12-yard line, I believe. So it doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, and it's going back.
So the 5-yard penalty will bring it back to, I think, I want to say 6 or 7 is where they're going to mark it right now, as New Canaan will huddle up. The offensive coordinator of Dan Fareni is going to try to get the team going on it. Probably butchered that name, Gray, but...
Dan Farina. And this Blue Wave team is in great position here, and this is no better way to start off the beginning of the game.
And we mentioned in our keys to the game, Braden, Darien's got to capitalize in the red zone. They got to capitalize in this red zone, too, defensively.
They will indeed. Here's Ty Groff, the New Canaan quarterback, and those are his numbers this year. Only the 2 passing touchdowns, might be 3. The numbers keep fluctuating regardless, nonetheless, and that's Ty Groff for New Canaan. He's going to be leading this team as he quickly hands it off for little gain on it. But eventually will be taken out at the 11-yard line on it, so a good rush there from Telesco and the Rams.
And let me tell you something, that's something that Hunter Telesco is very good at. Yards after contact, I mentioned with McInerney in our pregame show. Hunter Telesco is going to make contact, he's going to break a few tackles, and one of those every game typically turns into a 50, 60-yard run.
It will indeed, and Buchanan's going to huddle back up, and short gain on it, so this will now set him up second and about 5. So Buchanan trots back out looking for something here. This time now will be taken by number 25, Luke Reed.
And let me tell you something, this is Luke Reed's first game back from injury. He struggled with a hamstring problem, and the Rams are running this jumbo set, which we've seen with him at quarterback. Luke Reed typically runs jumbo in the red zone, and it's something that the Rams have been using. They put their biggest 10 guys on that front, looking to get an extra 5 or 6 yards. Not sure what they were doing with that field positioning, but a great run by Luke Reed.
And you just saw the Darien starters on your screen. Their linebacker group led by McElhouse as Tom will now trot out, but those were the Darien starters. So Tom, the offensive lineman, does see some time on the defensive end. Wasn't technically classified as a starter, and just like that, we will see our first timeout in this one. So only about a minute and a half in, but New Canaan will call the first timeout. And Gray, what do you think New Canaan's talking over right now? They've been a little slow so far, but they're taking their first of 3.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Marinelli is looking into the jumbo set right now. They ran that play for 2 yards on the last play, and I think they're going to get Luke Reed the ball and try to punch in the last 3 for that first down.
Luke Reed, the junior, wearing number 25. He is one of the rushers on this team, a junior. So Telesco, I guess, didn't take that first snap, but it's been Luke Reed who took the last two, and he's now going to have a 3rd and 3 for New Canaan. So this is a big-time conversion that they're going to try to make on the first drive of the game.
Right, and Luke Reed, second on the team for total touchdowns going into this game. Very impressive, as he was out the last 2 games. Luke Reed is a touchdown machine in that red zone.
He is indeed, the 7 touchdowns on the season.
Darian's brought James Tom back out on the field on the defensive line. We'll see if New Canaan brings that jumbo set again.
Just like that, 3rd and 3 for the New Canaan Rams. They're once again going to set up with an interesting formation. Luke Reed in the backfield, so no Groff yet. Reed takes the snap. He's going to rush it. Reed's rushing to the far side. Does he have enough?
Fumble.
And the ball is fumbled on it. The referee, I think it's going to, the referee was signaling down, so I think they're going to call him down on contact on it. But 4th and 1 is what's going to be the situation for the Rams.
I wouldn't be surprised if the New Canaan Rams go for it. They're very confident in this jumbo set. It looks like they will bring out the punt team.
So the punt team will come out for New Canaan, and now we'll see Ty Groff. Hasn't technically gotten out there yet, but Groff will now take his first chance on the punt. You see it right there, just couldn't quite get it. As now Ty Groff to punt, Garlamo and Schwind, the returners for this Wave team. Here's Groff on the punt. He gets it off. Good punt. Beautiful. Up in the air. Schwind will take it at the 45-yard line. He trips up on it, and eventually he's taken down at the 42-yard line.
There'll still be some solid starting position here for Darien. Simeon Dahl comes out onto the field.
Great punt there by Ty Groff, and Charlie O'Connor, you see, comes and gets there right away. It was not a fair catch, and looks like the Blue Wave was looking to run it out with Schwind. Charlie O'Connor able to get there fast enough.
There's Simeon Dahl, the quarterback for this Darien team. We're going to take a look at his numbers this season, and he has just been so good for this Darien team. 21 passing touchdowns for the Wave, and he's going to lead this Blue Wave attack. Picorni in motion. He'll hand it off to Jake Wilson. Wilson stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage for a gain of 1 or 2.
And listen, one of the key players we looked at before this game, Matt Salmini, you could see getting in there on that tackle. Matt Salmini is in every single play. Whether or not it's a solo tackle, he'll be there whether the whistle's blown or whether it hasn't.
So you see that right there, and now it will be 2nd and 9 after that stop. Salmini on the tackle with help from Perez Soto. And now it will be once again the trips on the near side. Here's Dahl rolling out. He's going to go to the far side now. Dahl being pressured, still fighting through, and eventually will be taken down by a committee of Rams players. Owen Lyden leading the charge.
Let me tell you something. This Rams defense is great at stopping the run game, and putting pressure on the quarterback is something defensive coordinator Chris Silvestri loves to do. And we could see there Simeon Dahl almost making a forced pass, and luckily he took the run. He almost broke a tackle and was unfortunately brought down there for the Blue Wave.
This is the New Canaan defense you're seeing right there. They play the 3-4 defense. It's worked for them all season. And now Simeon Dahl and co. will look to get past this on 3rd and 9. Dahl. He's scrambling with it once again. Dahl throwing this one, looking for Picorni, and Brady pulls it in for the first down. A great catch by Brady Picorni.
That's a great handle by Picorni, and you see Dahl wasn't feeling super comfortable in the pocket. He made some space for himself, hit Picorni downfield, and we saw the last play too. Dahl immediately escaped the pocket, so I think that's something we want to watch as this game continues on. If Dahl finds some comfort in the pocket or if he continues to scramble.
Right, a great route by Brady Picorni, able to split the Rams defenders, and Simeon Dahl found that great hole to throw to him.
Brady Picorni, the Notre Dame-bound lacrosse player, making the big catch on that one. Not sure what that replay was, but 1st and 10 now as Dahl will toss it off to Wilson. Jake Wilson's going to take it off the pitch. He's going to pound the running game, pick up a couple on it, picking up 2nd and 1 for Darien.
That's good vision by Jake Wilson. He saw the hole and he cut upfield immediately.
There you saw an example. Tucker Milligan, the safety returning from a prior shoulder injury, likes to lead with his shoulder, and that's something that he almost did there, and he might have to watch out if he wants to remain in this game.
And there's the starting offense for this Darien team. You're now seeing Picorni, one of the receivers. There's the offensive line. Austin Enner coming back for Darien. Has been battling an injury, but he's getting the start. For head coach Mike Forget, then Jake Wilson, McGuckin, Herget, Picorni, and McMullen, the receivers and backs for Darien. Here's Dahl now. He'll quick quickly drop back on it, looking to scramble, only needing 3 yards. Passing this one down to a wide open Picorni. Brady holds it in, and Markham down at the 10. A good catch by Brady Picorni, and a good reception for Picorni.
The Wave are loving the passing game right now. We talked earlier how we might see a run-heavy game, and so far, 3 passing plays and 2 completions to Picorni with those.
You take another look at it, and a good catch by Picorni. First and goal for Darien here on their first possession in this one. Good opportunity for Darien to put some early points on the scoreboard, but they need to get 9 yards first. Here's Dahl. He'll drop back. Dahl scrambling, being pressured. There's A.J. Bell on him. Dahl's going to take it himself, rush it, and pick up a gain of none as he's stopped by this New Canaan defensive effort in number 12, Jack Boutine.
And I think this Rams outside linebacker core is very strong, and I'd be very surprised if Simeon Dahl continues to run from out of the pocket and try to get a few yards. I think throwing the ball for this Wave team has worked very well, and they're going to look to continue to do so. And unfortunately, I don't know if moving to the outside and scrambling is going to be the right move.
I'm expecting we might see Herget to the corner here. Little play prediction.
7 touchdowns on the season. Wouldn't shock me if Trevor Herget gets it. Dahl's going to now roll out, and he'll be taken down for the sack. Owen Lydon taking him down.
There's that outside linebacker core I was telling you about. Owen Lydon, Charlie O'Connor, Jack Boutine. Those are great players, and the Rams defensive coordinator, Silvestri, loves to send them around the outside.
The junior Lydon broke through the O-line on that one. That is his 2nd sack on the season. Had one in the last game against Fairfield Ward, picking up another one, forcing Darien back quite a ways for 3rd and 21.
Right, I would expect the ball to go to Herget or Picorni on this play. 3rd and long.
3rd and 21, Dahl now. He's got Wilson to his right. Dahl takes it, drops back. Being pressured once again in the pocket, and he will rush it himself, but be taken down by the defensive likes of Jack Boutine. That's actually Javier Perez Soto, 52, and Boutine, so they don't get the 21 yards on it. Now we'll set up 4th down as Darien will try to figure out what they're bringing out here.
They're going to kick a field goal.
They are bringing
Tucker
a field
Stevens
goal
on the field.
So Tucker Stevens will get his first kicking attempt in this one. So here's Tucker Stevens looking for the kick. Tucker, a
sophomore.
And you see his numbers right there. 0 for 2 on field goals this season. Looking to rewrite that right here. There's the snap. Tucker puts the kick up, and it is good.
Beautiful kick.
First career field goal for Tucker Stevens, and Darien goes up 3-0. I was talking to Tucker all week, and he was just telling me, give me the ball. I'm ready for it. Mike Forget does it right there, and he makes it 3-0 Wave.
That's huge. Tucker Stevens has really improved a lot throughout this season, Braden. I think we've both seen he started the year missing a couple extra points in the early games of the season, and now he's made his way, made a nice long field goal for Darien, and he's certainly grown his confidence and his ability on the field.
I think both teams are very confident in their kicking ability, and Stevens and Groff are 2 great kickers, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more field goals later in this game.
That's a good point right there. Tucker Stevens, you should let him keep the ball on that. First career varsity field goal. He had one, and you see the drive summary on it, but he had one at St. Joseph, couldn't make it. Had one against Bridgeport, couldn't make it. But the 8-play, 62-yard drive goes for the Wave as they lead 3-0 over New Canaan. Here's Trevor Herget now. The Wave playing with a 3-0 lead in this one. Herget with the run-up. Good line drive kick. Finds its way down to Hagan on the 5. Hagan one-handed once again stumbles with it. He'll take it off to the far side. Hagan's still up. He's going to pound it once again and eventually be taken down just before the 30. Good gain by Brandon Hagan. Better field position for this New Canaan team.
Look, and Brendan Hagan has been doing this all season. You saw kick returns and punt returns for the guy. He's an amazing player, and he's able to get down the field. Plays in the secondary and defense as well, and Griffin Gettner and Brendan Hagan are both players that the New Canaan Rams coaching staff is very confident with the ball in their hand. You saw a fumble ball there. On the goal line once again. Could have been a function of the sun. Kick was a little low, and the Rams have been doing great recovering it.
Now here's Ty Groff. The first time we'll see him out there on quarterback. He has Telesco to his left. Hands it off to Telesco. He actually fakes it, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Was looking for Cooper Smith. Faked me out on that one. The fake handoff. Not the first time this season.
Right, and I think the Rams are going to do this. The Blue Wave is definitely expecting the Rams to just run the ball the entire game. So maybe faking handoffs and looking for receivers is going to be a very good strategy that the Rams come up with.
Here's this New Canaan starting offense, the O-line, Regan, Clay, and the rest of them, and then Langford, Smith, Telesco, McInerney, and Smith. The 5 receivers and backs for this New Canaan team. Throws this one, caught on the far side, first completion for Groff, and that one goes to the freshman James McInerney, making his 16th reception on the season.
And there you see McInerney once again. He only averages about 17 yards per game, but you can see right there McInerney is going to be a threat in this game specifically. The Rams are going to look to get him the ball and drive down the field as he's very strong in yards after contact.
McInerney had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Fairfield Ludlow Falcons, but he's not found the end zone on the passing game yet, so it might be something that head coach Lou Marinelli has been waiting 9 games to save for this big Turkey Bowl. But now 3rd and 3 for New Canaan. In motion goes Smith. Handing this one off now. Fakes the throw up, and it will be Telesco getting the first down. The first time the Rams have moved the chains in this one.
And you can see Telesco is a guy that they will give the ball a ton. And Telesco has a ton of carries this season, and the Rams are super confident with the ball in his hands.
You take another look at it, Telesco going right up the middle, and the senior running back picking up the first down. And as you mentioned, Gray, he's emerging 1,000 yards on the season. Here's Groff in the shotgun. He'll hand this one off to Telesco. He trips on it, rather, and he will lose 3 on it, so not the best gain for Telesco, and that's not good for New Canaan right there.
Right, and a lot of intimidation from this Blue Wave defense, and guys moving up, ready to make the tackle, and Telesco fell, but I'm not sure if he would have gotten much further if he was standing up. There were some strong, big defensive linemen like Barber, who was almost ready on that play.
Jack Silsby checking in for this defensive line. Groff, he'll have to regroup. He's got 20 on the play clock.
Hard count.
That's something New Canaan will run a lot, especially in situations where they need those extra 5 yards.
2nd and 13 after the loss from Telesco. In motion goes McInerney. Groff, he will hand this one off to Telesco. Once again being stopped as he will try to power his way through for a gain, and will get it right back to the original line of scrimmage. So Telesco once again not picking up that many on it.
And this is where the Rams have struggled all season. 3rd and long, and the decision of what they're going to do. I know the Rams are going to look to throw the ball, but unfortunately this season that really hasn't worked out very well for them.
Now it's 3rd and 11 for this Rams team, looking to move the chains. Only something they've done once thus far. Groff in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Throws this one. Line drive incomplete off the hands of McInerney. And the Darien defense will prevail once again.
Great coverage. Ryan Gerlamo stayed right on his back, got his hands in there, and not too much contact. That's just good defense.
Now we're going to get our second look at Ty Groff, the punter, as Gerlamo and Schwind will go back to take another punt. The second drive for New Canaan and the second punt for New Canaan, assuming this is a punt, that is.
Along with Ryan Gerlamo.
So Gerlamo, Schwind back, Ty Groff on the punt. Good snap. Groff on the punt. The spiral, just such a great punt. Will track Schwind down to about the 15 as he watches it out to the New Canaan student section.
Great punt there by Ty Groff, getting that ball out of bounds so the Blue Wave did not have a chance to return it.
And now Darien will trot back out the field goal on their last attempt, so they're going to look to keep the points going on it as Simeon Dahl and co. comes back out on the field. Brady Picorni had a couple nice catches on that first drive. And now it will be Picorni and Wilson joining Dahl in the backfield. A 2-receiver formation. He will hand it off to Picorni, and the wide receiver will spin his way down to the 25-yard line. So we see all those spin moves on the lacrosse field, and now Brady Picorni using it for the rushing game.
I was just going to say, similar to the roll dodge that he loves to use so much, Brady Picorni, he knows how to move those feet. He's got great footwork, and when he gets going, he's like a train. He's a big kid, 6 feet tall, and he's tough to stop.
I mean, you got Blair coming all you need to do is give him a stick, have him toss it behind his back, and try to beat a goaltender. As now Picorni once again on the grounds will rush his way down for a gain of about 2 or 3, setting up 3rd and 3 for the Wave.
Right, and one big thing to mention about Walker Blair, who made that play 2 plays ago, is he is playing with essentially one hand. He had a club on a few games ago. He had surgery on a Wednesday, then played in the St. Joseph's game on Friday, which was very impressive, and it hurt him then, and it looks like he's able to make tackles today.
Walker Blair, the senior captain for this New Canaan defense, had a pick 6 against the Wilton Warriors a couple games back, and that is going to be a clear-as-day penalty against the New Canaan Rams. One of the easier calls for the refs today is that is going to be an offsides on the Rams. So Darien will get the free first down out of it, the charity first down, if you will.
Great play by the Wave there. Able to get the extra 5 yards.
First down 10, ball on the 32.
As you can see, fans very excited here. Both Darien and New Canaan student sections very large in numbers.
So new 1st and 10 life for Darien, handing it off to Picorni. Picorni's going to spin his way out of one tackle, but eventually Salmini will come over and enforce his dominance. The 6'1" Matt Salmini, that ball is down, but Salmini will stop Picorni for no gain.
Right, and once again, Matt Salmini in on the play after Brady Picorni got that first roll. He's able to grab him tight and throw him down.
So 2nd and 10, this will set up for Darien. Late in this first quarter, good first quarter for the Blue Wave. They had the 3 points from Tucker Stevens, then the defense prevailed twice, forcing Tigeroff to punt. Nonetheless, Dahl, Wilson, and Picorni in the backfield. Hands it off to Picorni on the jet sweep. Brady, flag has been thrown as Picorni will hustle his way down for about a gain of 1. We got to see what this flag is because I think it's coming back.
And you can see this New Canaan secondary likes to lead with their shoulders and go for the hit stick plays. It's almost like watching someone play Madden.
Holding against the Wave will be the call, so the 5-yard penalty will move them back for its 2nd and 15.
You can see Matt Salmini, keep an eye out for him. 6'1", 195, and he moves like a shifty running back.
Does indeed, Matt Salmini. He is listed as a tight end, although I don't think he plays much tight end on the roster. Big guy, though, can make a difference anywhere.
Right, New Canaan Rams haven't really used the tight end as much this season. Another player, Cooper Dinan, who they normally work into the tight end position.
This is actually going to be a 10-yard penalty against the Wave, so we'll set up 2nd and 20 now.
2nd down 20.
So Darien's going to try to get some life on it. And again, we apologize for any issues that might be occurring with our score bug. We are hooked into the scoreboard here at Darien High School, so whatever's on the scoreboard at DHS comes home to you at home. Dahl now. He'll fumble with it, pounce on it, and Dahl will recover, but not before he loses at least 5 or 6. A big tackle by Jack Boutine.
Look, Jack Boutine is like the boss. He's one of the best linebackers, and he's having a great game here today. He's a player who gets very excited after he makes that first play. In typically games where he has a large sack or a large tackle, he'll go off for the rest of the quarters.
And this will take us to the end of the first quarter. The referees will signal we are through the first 12 minutes in this one. Darien leading New Canaan 3-0 on the DAF Media Network and NCTV. We're now going to send you back down sideline with Danielle O'Malley with more on the first quarter offenses.
Thanks, guys. As we know, New Canaan has been slow to get much of their offense going this year, and that has proved to be true today as they have failed to get much developed. Darien, on the other hand, is very contrary to this, with Brady Portnoy having two receptions for 40 yards. This led after New Canaan's sack. Darien took the points and are leading into the second quarter 3-0. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Danielle, and 3-0. The Wave leads the Rams. I'm going to start with you, Dylan. What did you see in that first quarter?
Yeah, Darien got the ball. Pretty solid field position to start. They drove down the field, able to get a field goal after a few solid plays with the help of Brady Picorni. But New Canaan's defense has really stepped it up now on that second Darien drive, and I think we'll be seeing a little bit of a different game than we expected to see after that initial drive where Darien scored.
Right, and the Rams are going to be keying off of a few main players here on this defense. Brady Picorni, Jake Wilson, some guys who have made plays in this game already that have affected and caused those 3 points to be in Darien's favor.
3rd and long for the Blue Wave to get it started in the second quarter. Dahl in the backfields. 3rd and 23 to be exact. Dahl drops back, and he will be taken down immediately. Boutine and Will Pepe for the sack.
New Canaan is collapsing that Darien O-line right now heavily. They're bringing the heat every time. They're getting through every time. No wonder Simeon Dahl isn't feeling comfortable in the pocket.
Right, and this is what New Canaan takes pride in, is their defense. And their offense has struggled all season with putting points on the board, especially with the passing game. As we've seen, there's only been 2 or 3 passing touchdowns this entire year.
So now this will bring out Trevor Herget, the punter for Darien, and back to return will be Griffin Getner. Herget with the punt, almost chaos, but Getner will watch it bounce, field it at the, actually will let it go as the defensive likes of Darien will force him. Eventually grabbed right there So good pressure put up by this Darien team, and now New Canaan will take over on the 35-yard line.
Right, and that almost punt block could have changed the momentum of this game. And that was very good play by that New Canaan Rams player. Wasn't able to catch a number, who broke through and almost punt just barely slipped through his hands.
And good pressure by Sean McGarren for this Darien team, wearing number 26 to pressure Gettner to not even return it. Nonetheless, though, New Canaan will trot back out on the offense, looking for a different story as Ty Groff has been forced to punt the last two. Here comes the Rams, looking for something. Groff and Telesco will be in the backfields.
A.J. Kelly in great position to make a play here.
Kelly, the senior, back, starting for Darien this game. Fakes the handoff. Groff will take it himself and be snuffed immediately by A.J. Kelly. And actually, that was 92 Jack Barber as well, the Williams-bound Jack Barber.
Right, and Ty Groff is a player that the Rams like to give the ball to. Previous in the season, Alex Russi was the starting quarterback. The Rams love to run the ball with him. However, this Blue Wave defense is a lot stronger than the other ones they've been playing with.
In motion goes Smith behind Groff. Groff will drop back, throw the screen pass over to Smith, and he's taken down immediately. But there's a flag on the play. So watch out for the flag on it, and there's a chance.
Great play by Mac McGarren there. As you can see here, comes through, finds the gap, and is able to meet Smith right as he catches the football.
So it's going to be against New Canaan. I would assume head coach Mike Forget is going to decline this penalty, especially after the big loss that New Canaan just took. So the penalty is against the Rams, but they're going to decline it, the false start.
New Canaan here, 3rd and long, as we spoke about before. This is not a position that they've been comfortable with. And we're expecting to see a handoff to Telesco for hopefully a big gain is what the Rams are looking for.
So 3rd down for the Rams. They're 1 for 3 on the 3rd downs in this one. Looking for a conversion. Groff in the backfields. He'll fake it. Groff, the ball is knocked loose. That's a fumble. And it's actually picked up by Darien.
How about that?
Give it to number 25, Jack Silsby. And Darien is in business. Jack Silsby, the junior, stepping up in Turkey Bowl 28. Groff just couldn't get it off. Barber with the tackle, and Silsby coming up big for the Wave.
And Jack Silsby, the D lineman, he's a smaller guy, 5'8", 183, heavy but small, and he's got some speed, some quickness. He used it, got back there, recovered that fumble. That's a great play from Silsby and a great play from Jack Barber, who struggled earlier in the season to get to the quarterback. He's found his way recently, and it paid off for him right there. Now Darien's got some great field position in the red zone.
Everything went well for Darien defense on that drive. Able to create enough pressure for Ty Groff to make a forced pass, and it was knocked down for the fumble.
Good play there by Jack Silsby. Dull over the middle, finds Picorni. Picorni's still up, and eventually will power his way down to the 5. A good game by the Notre Dame-bound Brady Picorni.
New Canaan defense has struggled to stop Brady Picorni this game. 3 big receptions that have led to first downs or 2nd downs and 5, and this is something that the Rams are going to have to shut down if they want to win this game.
And that was a big play by Silsby. Now 2nd and 5 for Darien. They're not 2nd and goal, so they will have an extra life, but Dahl will roll out to the far side, taking himself, rush, reach for the end zone, and touchdown Darien. Simeon Dahl is in. A great play by the senior quarterback, and Darien goes up 9-0.
And that right there is where Simeon Dahl's non-existent fear of running the ball comes into play. There were New Canaan players coming right at him. He was not scared. He came right down, dove at that pylon, got in. That's a great play from Simeon Dahl. Great recognition, and able to use his running ability to get in the end zone.
Simeon Dahl rushing for the touchdown on that one, and he has now had 14 touchdowns in the past 4 games alone for Darien, as Tucker Stevens will be on for the PAT. Made the field goal. Stevens puts it up, and a beautifully placed kick by Tucker. Make it 10-0 Darien.
And this Darien team is amazing right now. This offense is looking better than it has in the last 2 Turkey Bowls. Last 2 Turkey Bowls, they combined for 7 total points. Right now, they're already at 10 just in the beginning of the 2nd quarter. So the Darien team is looking great. They've been prepared. They're very excited for this game today. And this next drive will be a battle.
Took only 2 plays, 11 yards, but Darien got the job done, picking up the score, making it 10-0 in this one. And you brought up the past Turkey Bowls. I find it interesting. The last time Darien won a Turkey Bowl was 2016. The 2017 Turkey Bowl started off with a pick-6 for New Canaan. So ever since then, it's been all Rams. The first time Darien has been able to get out of the gate with a good start in the Turkey Bowl as they lead 10-0. I mean, I guess you could call it a curse almost, that pick six, cursing Darien up until this point. Haven't won a Turkey Bowl since, but they lead 10-0 here early in the second quarter, and that's the important part, Greg. It's early still.
Right, and the broken curse with that field goal.
Here's Herge with the run-up. He'll boot it all the way down. McInerney and Gettner. Almost a collision on it, but Gettner calls him off. Griffin Gettner now will spin his way up to the 25. Eventually will be taken down by the defense and Johnny Fay.
There's an example of that senior leadership. Griffin Gettner calling off the freshman James McInerney to take that ball and run it up.
And that's been something to watch for this New Canaan team. Almost these miscommunications, if you will. They almost collided on it last second. It was almost like Gettner pushed McInerney out of the way to get it, but even in the backfield, Telesco stumbled a couple times for no gain, and it's really hurt this New Canaan team. Because you look at their 3 drives in this one, punt, and turnover to Darien, so they have not really had much offense in this one.
We'll see what the Rams can create. Telesco coming out onto the field with Groff. Rams' first drive didn't go their way with the jumbo set. They haven't turned back since.
So now here's Ty Groff. Telesco to his left. Telesco will now take it right up the middle before he'll be taken down at the 31-yard line.
Right, and this is what's difficult for this Rams team is normally they rely on Hunter Telesco getting the ball and making a play for that entire offense. Right now in this game, he hasn't been able to just because of how well this this Blue Wave defense has game planned and prepared for Telesco to touch the ball.
So this one will set up 2nd and 6 for the Rams. And this is a big play for New Canaan here, looking to avoid the 3rd down, which they have just not been able to succeed at all game. Groff and Telesco in the backfields. Ty Groff handing it off to Telesco. Once again going right up the middle, powering through the defensive lights. But before Schwinn will eventually take him down with help from, who's that, number 11, J.D. Brennan, the team's leader in tackles.
Hunter Telesco struggling to get some yards here. Rams are going to continue to give him the ball, we're expecting, as he does make these breakaway plays, as we talked about earlier, for 50 or 60 yards that have really led to the Rams' success this season.
1 for 4 on the 3rd downs this game. Groff, he'll pitch it off to Telesco on the far side. Telesco's going. He's got some room and eventually will be tripped up. Not before he picks up a couple on it. There's actually a 1st down they gave him to New Canaan on the last play, so it's now set up 2nd down.
That acceleration from Hunter Telesco is something that you notice immediately. He gets that ball off the pitch, and he is going, picking up extra few yards just because of those extra quick steps that he gets at the beginning of his possession.
Only 30 total offensive yards for the Rams in this game, and they're trying to make the best of it as they're faced with a 2nd and 4 now. Again, we apologize for our scoreboard graphic. We're hooked into the scoreboard here at Darien High School, so whatever's projected up there comes right at home to your graphic on your TV at home. So, again, any apologies if that is wrong. In motion is Telesco. They're going to go with the trips on the near side. 4-receiver formation. Groff's going to take it himself, try to rush it. Try to pick up the gain, and it's going to be close. I think the referees are going to signal the 3rd down on it. So just short will set up 3rd and 1 for the Rams.
Right, now I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams come out with a jumbo set here. Quarterback Luke Reed. Typically, these are situations where they'll give him the ball.
So this will now be 3rd and 1 for the Rams, and they're going to look to convert on and bring in Will Pepe on one of their bigger defensive guys, as well as number 42, Thomas Garcia, to help out in the places of Telesco and somebody else. Might have been Max Salert. I think I saw number 6.
James Tom back on the field.
I'm almost positive it was number 6.
They're loading up that line.
This one now thrown over, and they'll get the 1st down on it. So Luke Reed catches in, and we'll pick up the 1st down for the Rams. And that is that's the 3rd 1st down for New Canaan. It is number 6, Max Salert. Looks like he's coming out. We were talking before the game, Greg. He's been injured all season with an ACL injury, I believe, and it looks like he's back out there for this New Canaan team.
Right, this is his 1st game of the year. He's a very great wide receiver. He's been playing. He's been starting ever since last year.
You were doubting me too. I was like, Max Salert coming out. You didn't think I was
right. I was
that.
very surprised.
Groff nonetheless throws this one just a bit high. Was looking for Will Langford.
You know, Will Langford, definitely a great player in this Rams offense, leads the team for receiving yards per game at 19.
So Langford can't corral that one in, a little high to his likings. The 6'1 Langford, tall guy to start with, not that tall though.
Right, and once again, Max Alert, very exciting to see him here on the field. Looks like he does have the brace on his left leg. These are his first few plays back.
So we knew Jake Wilson was going to be a game-time decision. I guess we didn't know that Max Alert would be a game-time decision, so the Rams doing a good job keeping that on the down low the past 9 weeks. Nonetheless, though, Telesko and Groff in the backfields. Groff hands it off. He actually fakes the throw, completes it to Smith. And Michael Smith will power his way down to the 45-yard line, but he will be short of the first down.
Michael Smith, the great sophomore. He earned his starting spot earlier this season through the Rams' decisions and a few injuries, and he was able to make some plays when he was in the game, and that's earned him his place today on the field.
So it will be 3rd and 1 for New Canaan. They're going to bring the likes of Silsby back out. Was heroic on the last 3rd down, right? A couple 3rd down attempts ago. Nonetheless, New Canaan will set up with the formation. They're going to look to just pile the way past the yard, and they will get the 1 yard for the first down.
Let me tell you something. All of these plays out of this jumbo set we've talked about, they might have had them in the back of their playbook, but these are the first times that these plays are being used, and that just goes to show how much both New Canaan and Darien have prepared for just this game. And I would expect a lot more trick plays to come out of the book, especially when you're down 10-0 with 5 minutes and you're looking to get a score. And you saw Luke Reed up the middle, first time under center in jumbo this entire season, and that screen pass earlier to Telesko for that 3rd down conversion is really great to see.
So now New Canaan will set up the regular offense. Ty Groff, Hunter Telesko in the backfield. Great camera shot by our crew to bring you that one. And Groff will take it himself before Silsby takes him down almost immediately.
Jack Silsby is so quick to get into the backfield. He's just a quick little guy, and he's able to sneak through the holes, find the gaps, and he got in there real quick.
Jack Silsby. Jack Silsby on that one. And takes him down for the 2nd and 11. So the junior for Darien has just stepped up such a big part of Darien. His brother Charlie Silsby played on this team a couple years ago, an alumni for Darien, one of the many families on this Blue Wave team. So Thanksgiving means a lot for Jack, and he's stepping up in a big way.
He certainly is.
2nd and 11. Groff will hand it off to Telesko. He'll fight through some contact, take his way down to the 38-yard line. So New Canaan slowly but surely is marching down the field as they'll be faced with another 3rd down.
Something I can't stress enough, yards after contact is one of the most underrated stat categories for running backs. And players like Jake Wilson and Hunter Telesko are great in that category. And being able to get another 5 yards on a drive after that first tackle or making 2 or 3 players have to bring you down is something that's very key to successful on offense.
Hunter Telesko, 7 attempts, 23 yards in this one. Those are his stats. Got a great graphics team working to bring you those.
Hard count once again from New Canaan.
Rams team loves their hard count.
3rd and 5, Telesko. He'll rush, be stopped, and he will be just short. So now this is where things get interesting.
They bring Ty Groff out.
He made a 48-yarder twice this season against Xavier and Ward. So he made one last game, and it would be a 45 attempt as Groff is going to come over and check with his coordinator. This will be a big decision for New Canaan. Do they need the points, or do they go for it on 4th and 2?
Looks like they're
going to bring Luke Reed back out, so they're going to try to maybe push the pile another play. So Reed will step back out. He's got 13 on the play clock. New Canaan's got to move quick. They're going to go for it. 4th and 2. Groff, he's going to try to take it himself, rush it up the middle. He's got some space. Groff on the far side. Ty Groff still up, and he's eventually taken out past the 20. So Ty Groff brings the Rams in the red zone for the first time in this one.
And you don't see Ty Groff running the ball very often, but they went with the option there. Ty Groff took it himself, found the hole. That's just great vision from him, and he was able to move those feet and pick up a bunch of extra yards after getting that first down.
Right, and not a result I think that Rams coaching staff was expecting with that play call. I think Groff just found the hole, and they were looking for 1 or 2, and they got 10.
So big gain there by Ty Groff, setting the Rams up 1st and goal in the red zone. Groff's going to set up again. He's going to hand it off to Telesko. Hunter Telesko stopped for a gain of 2 on it to the 20. And going back to that last play, that's a play that the coach is the one making the decision. And if it works out, it's on him. It's great, but if it's not, it falls back on him at the same token. 4th and 2, deep into the opposition zone. So it works out in that sense, but it could have been chaos if it didn't work out.
Right, and offensive coordinator Dan Farina making a great decision there, and that was very key for the Rams. They're going to look to get 7 on the board before they go into halftime, as that'll really make it feel like a closer game, as 10-0 with one more Darien touchdown could really be the start of a big pull away.
New Canaan leads in time of possession, but yet again, Darien had that one fumble back in the New Canaan zone, so they picked it up, only went 2 plays to score, as the Rams have had the majority of the possessions, as now they're going to hand it off to Reed. Reed will be stopped by the good defensive likes of Leighton Reeser.
Luke Reed with the carry.
So Reeser will now set up another 3rd down for New Canaan.
Right, New Canaan Rams, I can almost guarantee you they're going to try a hard count here. Every single time it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. If it's close, the Rams are going to look to get those extra 5 yards.
So 3rd and 4 for the Rams.
James Tom back on once again, taking out Dash Ross.
So the wrestler Dash Ross coming out in his place. James Tom, the Tufts-bound lineman. Under 2 minutes left before the half. It will be Groff and Garcia in the backfields. Groff will take it himself, and he will be stopped immediately. The ball
and
is
he
loose.
fumbled it.
Knocking it loose was A.J. Kelly. It's going to be a pile. Flag has been thrown.
Got a late flag on the play.
Late flag, maybe excessive celebration. Groff's helmet comes off. And who's got the pigskin?
It's like they'll wait to...
Listen, if the ball goes to the Rams...
Face mask on Darien.
So face mask on the wave. I think it was going to be on number 11, they're saying, potentially, J.D. Brennan. At least I saw one of the referees signal a 1. I assume he did a 1-1. But nonetheless, penalty will move New Canaan a couple yards, give them the 1st down and some more. Big break for the Rams. You take another look at it, only the 2nd penalty against Darien. A big hit from A.J. Kelly there, kind of threw his shoulder at it, knocked the ball loose. But I'm not sure who they called the face mask on. It had to be something on the scrum. Nonetheless, it sets up New Canaan in the red zone. Time's ticking, 1:15 to get something before the half, and the Wave will receive the kick coming out of the halftime break.
This is a big possession for the Rams, capitalizing in the red zone. Key for Darien, but also one for New Canaan.
Ty Groff, he'll hand it off to Telesco. And Telesco still up, eventually taking it down to the 5-yard line. Good gain from Hunter there, and this will now give the Rams 2nd and goal.
Listen, and let me tell you guys something. Ty Groff is a very smart player, and you can see every single play he drops back to his coach, and I can guarantee you that coach is asking Ty, what do you want to do in this situation? Because Ty has a lot of experience. He sat back and watched for many years. He's seen Drew Pine play. He's seen a lot of different quarterbacks and has been through this program. Ty Groff is very experienced, and I know the Rams trust him with his decisions, play calls, and especially those field goals.
So now it will be 2nd and 5. Luke Reed alone in the backfield. The other 10 just about on the offensive line. Reed's going to try to rush it up the middle. He dives, and he is knocked short, forcing Lou Marinelli to come out and take his 2nd time out.
Rams here with the jumbo set once again. I know the Rams like to run that back-to-back. They understand it doesn't work every single time. Here you see Luke Reed with the snap once again. I would anticipate the same play.
I mean, that's worked for him so far in those short games, putting essentially the other 10 players on the offensive line and just trying to get Reed to go over the top and pick up a couple. It will be 3rd and 4 after Lou Marinelli's timeout right here. He does have 1 left, and worst case scenario, you just have Ty Groff kick the ball if you need the points.
Well, with 15 seconds left, you got 2 downs. You have the ball at the 3 or 4 yard line and a timeout. I think you want to run 2 plays here. On 4th down, it's likely they're going to pick up a couple here. I'd say on 4th down, if you're forced to come to that, you go for it.
So this is a big possession for New Canaan. They can't have what happened to Darien before half against Greenwich, where they come up empty-handed here, especially with the Wave getting the ball coming out of the half. So it'll be a big swing if Darien can keep New Canaan at bay. If the Rams can just put some points on the board, they have a new life in this game. Just joining us, Braden Shank, Dylan DeRiso, Gray Tomasco with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network or NCTV. New Canaan about to run their 29th play of the game. McInerney's going to shuffle his way across the line. Groff now rolling out to the far side, looking for McInerney, and through his hands and complete. The freshman was looking for his first touchdown grab, couldn't grab it, and get Loud Darien. It's 4th and goal.
Here's where the decision-making comes in from Lou Marinelli. It's like he'll take... What's the play here?
It was going to McInerney up high. McGarren lost him for a second, but McInerney couldn't get it. You see the fans there, hands on the head. They're in disbelief. That would have been a clear touchdown. Nonetheless, they're going to bring the kicking unit out. So Groff will take the field goal attempt for New Canaan. Ty Groff will look to get the Rams just on the board with the 3 points. So Ty Groff on. 30, it's not a 30-yarder, but Groff still with the attempt. Groff with the kick, and it is up and good with some to spare. That ball's going in the woods. It's a 10-3 game, and I kind of like that decision if you're head coach Lou Marinelli. Put the points up on the board. You know Ty Groff has not missed a PAT in his varsity career. That one around the same range, so you knew it was going to be a good one there. You see Ty Groff stats right there. Made a 48-yarder against Xavier last week. That's his now 7 for 9 on the field goals right there, so a big one for Groff, and New Canaan's on the board.
Right, and that 48-yard field goal was a New Canaan High School record. He beat out Bob Warden, who had a 47-yard field goal. Very exciting for Ty Groff, and as you can see here, Darien, fortunately, doesn't have woods very close. I know in the New Canaan Stadium we have that one side that some balls get lost into. So that's great that Ty Groff was able to get that PAT in, and the Rams get 3 on the board.
So that ball might not be coming back, and if that drive chart is correct, 22 plays for New Canaan on that drive. I know it was a long drive. It lasted 9 minutes.
Look at the time, too. Yeah,
9
minutes,
and
20
19 seconds. I think it was a long drive because it was, and they only got 3 points out of that, Gray. So you think it's worth it?
Right. I mean, if you're this Rams team, you're looking to get anything on the board before halftime. And obviously a touchdown would have been ideal, but you got to take what you can get, especially in a game like this.
From me personally, I didn't like that pass play on 3rd down. You want to run the ball there because at least you'll pick up maybe a yard or two, especially the way that New Canaan's been pushing that ball forwards, and then you have more of a chance for a touchdown. Instead, they tried to throw the ball, trick Darien out a little bit, and then came out with just 3 points.
Especially when you got a freshman like McInerney who hasn't caught a touchdown pass this season. He's not used to the red zone game, as now Groff with the strong quick kick. Corning will watch this one out and out of play. 7 seconds left, so again, we've got one of the best stats guys in the business, Liam Tomaszewski on that, but if that graphic was right, 22 plays on that drive for New Canaan. That's unbelievable.
Right, and 22 plays to get 3 points. New Canaan was able to get the clock low enough. Darien will have time for 1, maybe 2 plays here, and hopefully nothing large is what the Rams are looking to stop.
I mean, Darien, they're getting the ball coming out of the half, so I would assume they're just going to hand it off to Wilson, let the 7 seconds tick off, hold on to it with dear life, do not give up a fumble. And then I think they're just going to take the knee. That's a smart play for head coach Mike Forget. You cannot risk anything in this game right here. And Dahl's going to take the knee, and that will take us to the half. A great first half by the Darien Blue Wave. They lead New Canaan 10-3 on this one. The teams are going to rally up. Dylan, we'll start with you quick. What'd you see in the first half?
There's a lot to be happy about right now if you're Darien. The offense played pretty well. New Canaan's defense has started to get better and better as this game's gone on, but Darien's offense played well. Up until that last drive, Darien's defense was dominant as well. New Canaan was able to drive down the field. Great hold down there in the red zone within the 5-yard line. So solid performance from Darien, but New Canaan will certainly bring it in the second half.
And we're now going to, in a bit, send you down to the mastermind that led Darien to this 10-3 mark. Mike Forget, he's standing by sideline with our sideline reporter Danielle O'Malley. He's going to talk through the first half because this was a great game for Darien. Was really able to get out of the gate going. 10 points on it. We're now going to send you down to Danielle O'Malley and head coach Mike Forget of the Blue Wave.
So we can...
Right now we're playing a heck of a game, and we just need to keep up the tempo and keep coming at them and chew up some clock and score some points. Well, defensively, we're going to have to put a stop to the bunch package that got us in the first half with a little bit. You know, the rest of the stuff, we'll just keep on spinning where we are.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Danielle, and that's going to do it for the first half. 10-3 Darien leads. That was head coach Mike Forget of the Darien Blue Wave doing a great job leading this team. The 10-3 lead. We're going to step aside for halftime and be right back on DAF Media NCTV.
You're good. Hey, can we come back up or what?
Yeah. So charge that battery.
Yeah.
Both batteries.
You're good on batteries?
Yeah. You're killing it, by the way. Your shots are awesome. Hey.
Yeah.
Much better than down here.
Yeah.
So.
The Darien Foundation was founded in 1998 by Richard and Maureen Chilton, and the thesis behind that founding was to bring technology to the Darien public school systems. And that launched us, and that got us going. And through technology and capital project initiatives, we've now funded over $5.5 million over the last 24 years to build a better Darien.
Our board really likes to get involved and assist the partners that we collaborate with, whether it's a grant for a youth project or a grant from a community service, schools, the police. Often they come to us with ideas that we help them bring to fruition.
The Darien Foundation recently awarded the Darien Police Department 2 grants. One was for laser shot and the other for Faro technology. Laser shot technology is based on decision making. It may come down to using their firearm, but in reality, we would like them to talk the situation down where you use less lethal force, and this program allows us to do that.
Police, drop the gun!
Faro technology gives us a 360-degree view, catching all the points we need to catch in our accident scene. It also takes a lot less time. This allows us to open up roads, get traffic flowing a lot quicker than we ever used to be able to. We can also map the inside of buildings. We can use it at outdoor crime scenes, indoor crime scenes. It's really used for a plethora of investigations. It's a tool that most other departments may not have their hands on just yet, and thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have that technology.
At Home in Darien is a nonprofit organization that helps senior citizens to remain living independently in their home and in the community. We provide important services to help them do so, such as transportation. Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
From all standpoints, this is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide, both in terms of safety and comfort. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
Post 53 is the town's ambulance service. We respond to over 1,600 emergency calls a year. We're a vital service that has been here for 51 years. The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. You don't know how important an ambulance is until you actually need it. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared, to be well-trained and well-staffed, to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you need it.
The Darien Foundation is really excited to be able to launch a new program for the Darien schools, which will benefit students K through 12 in all 7 schools. This is the new robotics program, which will be an extracurricular opportunity for students to build robots, compete against other leagues, and collaborate together.
Our robotics program is going to benefit students in so many ways. In regular classes, students are always looking for the right answer, that there's only one way to answer something. Robotics is completely different. In robotics, you learn that there are multiple solutions to every problem. You learn that you have these obstacles that you have to overcome. You have to really be a creative problem solver. And most importantly, you need to persevere.
Early on in the process, the Darien Foundation reached out to administration and they offered to provide funding for a project, and it just dovetailed beautifully to the goals of the strategic plan. I look forward to continue to work closely with the Darien Foundation, both on this project and other projects down the line.
We welcome ideas for possible grants. We'd like to do grants that promote and strengthen our community. Sometimes it's from an organization, sometimes it's from our emergency service partners, or it's from the Darien Public Schools. One of our most popular grants, which was the Playground by the Sound, came to us from 4 Darien moms who said, let's get together and figure out how to build this.
Thanks to the generosity of our board members and officers, every dollar you give to the Darien Foundation goes directly to the grants that we're supporting. I invite all of you to help us move our community further and support the Darien Foundation.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. all Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the center oval and upper oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England, all made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there, as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field.
DAF Media is actively seeking financial support. Founded in 2017, DAF Media
Channel
has
12
quickly
Sports
become
presents
Southwestern Connecticut's
high
source
school
for quality
football
sports,
action.
arts,
Today,
and community
the
programming.
64th renewal of the football game between the Blue Wave of Darien and the New Canaan Rams. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Darien High School, and hope you're having a happy Thanksgiving. And Lou Marinelli just took
If
him
you
back.
like what you see on the DAF Media Network and want to help us continue to deliver high-quality broadcasts while teaching lifelong STEM, communication, organization, and leadership skills, please email us at sponsor.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
Back on the DAF Media Network, taking a look at the first half stats now on your screen. 10-3 our score, Darien over New Canaan. Gray, what did you see in that first half?
Right, I think the first half, Darien was able to shut down that New Canaan offense, and in 22 plays, New Canaan was only able to finish with a field goal. That's something that the Rams have been struggling with, is getting the ball down the field, and they're going to have to focus as this game goes on as moving the change. First downs are crucial, third down conversions. That's what the Rams have struggled with, especially they were 1 for 3, and then they failed to convert again, and this is going to be tough for the Rams to be able to come back in this game. That's Darien Blue Wave. We're going to try to keep their momentum.
It's been all Darien, 10-3. They lead. We're now going to take a look around the FCAC at our scores out of town in this one. A lot of great games here on this Thanksgiving morning. Game played around the FCAC, and we're going to take a look at those scores if our graphics team can cue that up. But 10-3, Darien leads New Canaan here in the Turkey Bowl, and a game that Darien got off to the early start, 10-0, but there are your scores. Greenwich and Staples tied 7-7 in the behemoth of the game, 8-1 versus 8-1. Brian McMahon a commanding lead over Norwalk, 21-7. Bridgeport Central Harding don't have a score of it, but they're playing on Thanksgiving the 101st time. But then the big one, Gray, over at Dowling Field, the Eagles lead the Hogs 7-0. That could be a big upset if Trumbull can create some disruption and take down the Hogs.
That was definitely a big surprise just seeing this now at halftime. Trumbull up 7-0. One of the most important games that I love here is Ludlow Ward. It's such a big rivalry, and it's so good.
And we're now going to send you down sideline with Cam McGraw with head coach Lou Marinelli of the New Canaan Rams. Any second now, we should have head coach Marinelli and Cam McGraw on the sideline. But there's all the scores around the FCAC in this one, and there's head coach Marinelli and the Rams. We'll give it a second. Some technical difficulties on our end here. We apologize.
You know, I mean, they're a staunch defense. They're really good. It's a good team. So we didn't expect to come down here and just walk all over them. They're a well-coached team, and they always get up for us, and we always get up for them. So it should be an exciting second half.
Yeah, talking about the run game, we saw a lot of QB design runs and a lot of draw plays. Are you planning on implementing something similar in the second half as well?
Yeah, we're going to kind of probe and see. We kick off to them, so they'll have the ball first. But if we can stop them, then we're going to try to probe and see what we got. We think that, there are things there. We just have to take advantage of them.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Cameron. Darien coming back on the field. We now want to shout out the DJFL 8th grade white team champions of the Fairfield County Football League. They took down Westport in the championship. Head coach Andy Grant, the assistant coach for Darien, but he leads this Darien DJFL team. They took down New Canaan in the semifinals en route to the championship. Great job by our graphics team to bring you that one. And I also do want to give a shout out. To the Darien varsity soccer team. They will have their annual alumni game this Saturday at noon at the Oval Field at Darien High School. Both teams have had successful seasons, the boys and the girls, and they're going to show out in the alumni match. Everyone is welcome to join in the fun, catch up with the fellow players and the players that play soccer in Darien and the Soccer Association. Free game shirts will be given out to every player for them to keep. Also starting at 11 a.m. here at DHS this Saturday will be the return of the annual boys rugby match. This game will be played by the tennis courts. After both games will conclude, everyone is invited to the Piedmont Club to watch some World Cup and enjoy that afternoon. It should be noted that the officials for both matches heavily inclined to root for the alumni and also cannot run. Alumni records in soccer is 19-0-1. Should note, come out will surprise when you watch. Tim Blake will do the soccer, John McCarthy refereeing the rugby. So some great things. Again, rugby at 11 a.m., soccer at noon this Saturday. And I'm now going to hand it over to my partner, Dylan Teresa, to take you the rest of the way.
Braden, I've got one more shout-out for us. Jim Feely, he's a Darien super fan. He hasn't missed a Turkey Bowl in 25 years. Went to 25 straight Super Bowls. He couldn't make it here this year, so a shout-out to him. We've got the second half starting up in just a moment now. 10-3 our score. Gray, I'm going to hand it to you. What does New Canaan need to bring in this second half? They had a long drive to end the first half. They only got 3 points out of it. What do they need now?
Right, and as we spoke about before, Braden, I think this New Canaan team just needs momentum. They haven't had momentum really in this game at all. Their field goal was kind of what got them back into the game, and it's been very difficult because it was a 22-play, 9-minute drive, which is something that's very difficult to do and play out a game if you're only getting 3 points from that end result.
And I do want to point out, Dylan, right there at the midfield, they did the Sportsmanship Award to Mac McGarren and A.J. Bell for both respective squads, coming out given by their head coaches for their sportsmanship they've shown this year. One of the many not pregame, but Thanksgiving festivities we've seen here at the stadium. Overall, just a great day for these two communities.
Certainly, Braden. I'll ask you this now. Darien, they're going to have to keep their offense going a bit in the second half. They had that touchdown, but That was only as a result of their defense, who made that big stop, got the fumble recovery down in the red zone on the other side of the field. What does Darien need to do to start driving down the field and picking up big chunks of yards?
I don't think it's the driving, because they did that with Brady Picorni. They had the big games. I think the defense needs to continue to step up, continue to stop Ty Groff and the Rams, because if they can keep holding them to the field goals, and they're going to be set in this one. Yeah, the defense did pick up that big yard setting up the Darien offense, but Darien's done a great job getting the yards. They just need the defense to continue to accelerate.
Field goal team or kickoff teams both coming out.
I mean, they could kick. I guess they couldn't technically kick a field goal to start.
Well, maybe with a bit of wind, Ty Groff could reach, but
it's true. I mean, the guy's just an athlete out there.
Right, punter, kicker, quarterback.
Punter.
Ty Groff's doing it all.
Team captain.
Right.
I think a basketball player too.
Basketball captain, I believe.
Dude, he truly can do it all. Makes us look underqualified up here.
Right.
Kick will go all the way down to Brady Picorni at the 3-yard line. He'll let it go for a touchback. Simeon Dahl and the Darien offense will retake the field.
That'll be
Blue Wave will look to get something going to start the second half. They won the coin toss, elected to defer. That's what Coach Forget wanted. I was talking to Jake Wilson, the running back, earlier this week. He said one of the games they won the coin toss, elected to receive. Coach Forget was not too happy about that. They got to the sideline. He said, "We always defer." Dahl takes it. He'll hand it off to Wilson. He won't get anywhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And I think that's a strategy for most teams going into defer. I'm shocked they just elected to receive one game, maybe try it up, switch some things up, but I think that was pretty standard to defer. So I guess I'm shocked to hear that right there.
Well, some teams are very excited to get the ball down the field, and especially if you're a returner, that's something you look forward to.
2nd down 9.
Darien will come out now with the trips to the left side.
Once again, Duquesne going with the 3-4 formation on it. They're going to try to get to Dahl.
Now Dahl over the top looking for Picorni. Intercepted. That's number 7, Griffin Gettner. He'll take it back. Able to get by McGuckin. Gettner down to the 30-yard line, and that's huge for the Rams.
That is a killer for Darien right there. They got to come out of the gate firing in the second half. You can't throw that deep ball to Picorni and have him go to Gettner, because New Canaan now has got the foot in the door right now, and they're looking to convert and tie this game up at 10.
Let me tell you something. Griffin Gettner is very comfortable in that position. He's a kick and punt returner, and you can see right there, he brought back that ball. He realized he had open field, and he's able to use his speed to get around to the outside and break up the field for another 20 yards.
Just like that, it seems the momentum in this one has completely shifted, and all it took was that one play. Darien had a lot of the momentum coming into this second half with their lead, and New Canaan with the ball at the 30, driving right back in, and now that deferral that Darien had didn't work out for him super well. Groff, he'll hand it off. Telesco down to the 20-yard line, dragged down.
And Dylan, I think what this is a case of right now is New Canaan gave up points in the first quarter. They haven't done that all season. They have outscored opponents 112-0 in first quarters this year, so they're not used to being down this early in games. So I think when they went down 10-0, it kind of shook them a bit. But now that they came out of the half, head coach Lou Marinelli, I know what he told his guys at the half. It's a whole new ball game in the second half. Let's get out there, play like New Canaan that we played all season, and that's exactly what Gettner did, setting the tone early in the second half.
And one of the keys to the game for this New Canaan team, as we spoke about before, was to be to pick up off of Darien's errors, and we saw Simeon Dahl making a forced throw to Brady Picorni down the field that resulted in his 8th interception.
And again, he made the risky pass on it, went to Picorni way downfield.
Groff now. He'll hand it off to Telesco. Telesco cuts back all the way in for the touchdown. New Canaan. Hunter Telesco. And the Rams have closed the gap.
And you can see Telesco right there. As I spoke about before, he makes these breakthrough runs as that Rams offensive line was able to create a gap for him to go through. You can see Telesco breaks the tackle here and just makes a great 20-yard touchdown. And that's something that he's been able to do all season, and it has given Rams momentum and success in the offensive side of the ball.
That is Hunter Telesco's 15th touchdown of the season. And he broke through, saw the hole. He was gone. Nobody in the Darien secondary to stop him. Just like that, we have got ourselves a tie game at the stadium field.
We are tied at 10.
And New Canaan will come out to line up and kick it away once more.
And that's just a big run for Telesco. He's done that all season where he just kind of, breaks free the opposition on in that game against St. Joe's. I think he had a long 30-plus yarder where he just broke tackles left and right. That time, the offensive line created a great hole for Telesco just to break through the defenders. Only took 3 plays, 53 seconds, but we are tied at 9.
And this drive summary is looking a lot cleaner for the New Canaan Rams this time. 3 plays, 30 yards, and only 53 seconds. Compared to the 9 minutes and 22 plays.
You didn't like the 22 plays, the 9 minutes and 20 seconds?
You know
3
what?
points.
Hey, take your time, but when you're down 10-0, you're looking to get the ball in the end zone. Hunter Telesco breaking the 1,000 rushing yards, I believe, with that touchdown.
I think so.
We'll find out. He's got 53 in the game. So
correct. That touchdown will break Hunter Telesco of 1,000 yards, a milestone he's been working all season to reach.
And that's a big accomplishment for Hunter, especially given the adversities his team faced early in the season. Rasso going out, the wide receiver, Telesco having to move over to running back, and he's done a great job doing just that. As it's a whole new ballgame for New Canaan right now. 0-0, you still got 22 minutes to play.
Wilson and Picorni back to return. Groff with a long boot. Jake Wilson will let it go once again. 3rd straight touchback on a kick from Ty Groff. Darien's offense will come back on the field. Simeon Dahl, the last drive ended with an interception by Griffin Gentner. Pass was intended for Brady Picorni, was long over its head. And New Canaan turned things right around into a touchdown, and Darien is hoping things will go a little differently this time.
They do indeed, and they need to make things go differently. They had the big games to Picorni, and that's not going to work anymore. New Canaan's going to double team him. They know that he's their #1 receiver, so they're going to need some new offense.
Hands it off to Wilson. Wilson breaking up field, picks up 12. Quick first down. Darien's moving.
And there's something that, earlier in the game when we mentioned those linebackers for the New Canaan Rams, Wilson was able to break a tackle from outside linebacker Owen Lyden, and that really gave him the extra yards he needed in that field space. And, combined with Wilson's speed, that was an amazing play by him. You can see Owen Lyden just reaching here and missing it. It looks like Perez Soto got caught up in there, too.
Picorni in motion. He'll give it to Wilson once again, who's covered up in the backfield.
Lyden just broke through that line. They go with that 3-4 formation, as I've been talking about all game. The 4 linebackers gives them more mobility to try to go past that offensive line. And that's exactly what Lyden has done all afternoon, just sprinting to the ball as soon as the ball was snapped, and that time taking down Wilson for a loss.
Redemption play, just barely missed the last one, and he got his right there. Owen Lyden, a great player all season for this New Canaan Rams, right outside linebacker. Great in coverage.
2nd down and 11 for the Wave. Trips to the left side. Wilson to the right. Picorni in motion. Dahl. He'll roll out. Quick throw to Picorni, who's stopped immediately by Gentner.
I mean, it looks like Gentner has got Picorni's number right now. Intercepted the pass. That time stopped him for little to no gain, and now Darien's going to have a long 3rd down.
Right, and I'm sure the Rams are keying off of Picorni, as we talked about earlier. Brady making those first few plays in the beginning of the game, and it looks like they have Gentner all over him and maybe following him around on the field.
Darien hasn't had much familiarity with the 3rd downs, only their 5th attempt in this one.
3rd and 9. Dahl. Whistle blown.
It's going to be, I think, a false start on Darien.
Procedure.
Pass attempted to Briggs McGuckin.
False start.
Yeah, he threw that one quickly to McGuckin. Didn't look like a good pass. So that'll move Darien back 5 yards. Now they'll have to have another go from 3rd down. This time it'll be 3rd and 14.
Full start on the Wave is going to hurt them, but they're going to have to reset up here on the 3rd down.
Trips to that left side, excuse me.
2 down on the D-line for the Rams.
Dahl. The Rams bringing it all the way out to his left. He'll throw, looking to Picorni way over his head, and that'll bring up 4th down and 14. The punt team will come back onto the field. Not a successful drive for the Wave after that initial Jake Wilson run.
Right, and Simeon Dahl making the better decision there to maybe throw the ball out of bounds or throw it a little high away from that strong safety Walker Blair. Simeon Dahl threw that first interception, not looking for a second.
So it's going to be the first time we'll see Trevor Herget punting today, I believe. I One of the few times we've seen Trevor Herget punt. Actually, the second time, you're right. This is the second punt for Herget.
High snap, Herget handled it. Go to Gentner. He'll roll. He'll take it, though. Gentner looking around the outside. He'll go out of bounds. Tygroff, the New Canaan offense, will take the field once again. This time with a tied score.
And this is the first time the New Canaan's back in this game right here. The offense is going to get a full go at it. First time since the opening possession that they have taken the field with a tie ball game. So a brand new game for head coach Lou Marinelli and the Rams. And they just need to play this next 8 minutes in the 12 in the fourth quarter to try to pick up a 5th straight turkey bowl.
New Canaan looking to take their first lead of the game on this drive now. Telesco concluded their last drive with his touchdown run. Also passing that 1,000-yard threshold on the season for him. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Trips out to the right side. Groff, quick handoff. Stuffed at the line.
You can see the battle of number 71 for both the teams there. 2 linemen going at it after that play.
That's just a good stop by this Darien defense right there.
Now, Dylan, who do you think the Wave defense is keying off of right now on this Rams offense?
I think it's Hunter Telesco, absolutely. He's been the strength. He's been the key for New Canaan's offense. Scored that touchdown. He's been getting all the big gains. And I wouldn't be surprised we see Tygroff give it right back to him here. Instead, he'll look to Langford on the outside.
Well, Langford's a great player for this Rams offense. He leads the team in average yards per game with 19 receiving yards. And the Rams like him on that quick out route, and it's a guaranteed 5 yards in most cases. See Max Alert checks back in.
Langford, that's his first catch of the ball game, and it's a good time to have his first catch, setting up 3rd and 5 for the Rams, a place that they've struggled today, 3 for 9, and they're just looking to move the chains, keep the drive going. And this has been a really evenly matched game so far, and I don't think we've gave enough credit to just how evenly matched these teams are.
Groff, he'll pitch it out to Telesco. Telesco trying to let something develop. He does. Almost makes it back to the line of scrimmage. He was halted in the backfield.
It's definitely very difficult. Once you take those first 2 steps back, regaining motion forward is something that's really tough, especially if your linemen aren't down there and your running back is in a tough place and he's looking to make a move, and fortunately there for the Wave defense, they were able to shut him down.
That's just a nice move by Telesco, beating out the defender in McElhouse and just staying up on it. And now Groff will punt. Oh, almost blocked by Barber.
Jack Barber, not the first guy you would expect to be getting back there to block a punt. Almost had it, though. Simeon Dahl, Darien offense will retake the field. Braden, what do they need to do here to turn things around offensively?
I think they need to go back to what worked for them in the first half. You cannot get over greedy on it. You can't be looking for Picorni 30 yards downfield on a 2nd down play. I'm not sure why they called for that. You got to get the short games. You got to get Wilson going. You got to throw it over the middle to Herget, which Trevor just hasn't really been targeted all that much in this game. Looking at the stats, I don't think he's had a single reception in this one. This is saying Picorni's the only one with a reception for Darien. And I can't remember calling anyone else's name on the reception.
They'll hand it to Picorni now. Brady Picorni around the outside. He'll pick up about 5 with a flag down, though.
See Matt Salmini on that play.
Will we see a hold, possibly?
Great pump, by the way, by Tygroff. Landed at 70 yards after rolling.
Wow.
Coming back.
My mistake. There was a block in the back.
Ah, Sweeney got it wrong.
Block in the back.
I blame Sweeney for that one. Nonetheless, though, 10-10.
6:13 to go in the third. Instead of being 2nd and 5, it'll be 1st and 15 now. 1st and 20, excuse me. Quick handoff to Wilson.
I think it was 1st and 15.
Yeah.
Again, we apologize for any issues with our score bug graphic. We're plugged into the Darien High School Stadium scoreboard here, so whatever the official up here puts up on the scoreboard comes right through to that graphic. So if it's wrong, it's not our amazing graphics guys back in the truck, but fortunately it's a state-certified official.
But
But he's been doing a great job on that clock, I got to say, all game.
Not too tough of a job, I would say.
Actually, it's tougher than you think, Dylan. I think you should give it a try game.
I don't know if I'd step into that arena. Dahl will take this one around the outside. Tripped up in the backfield with no help.
Charlie O'Connor there, able to catch him with speed and just push him in the back a little bit, which will bring down Simeon Dahl.
Braden, it seems like Darien's lost a lot of their momentum here. It almost seems we're over on the Darien side of the field, and it has gone pretty quiet considering the past couple Darien drives.
It has indeed, and I think a big part of that is that interception just sucked the life out of this stadium, gave New Canaan a light to get back in this game, and they took advantage, tied us up at 7, and New Canaan's just been dominating on the statistical side, 105 to 42 rushing yards you take a look at.
Dahl looking for the mid-screen to Herget. He was pressured very quickly there.
Again, I don't think that they have passed the ball to anybody but Brady Picorni in this one. I mean, it's great that you have Picorni, but you have other guys, McMullen, McGuckin, Herget, Wilson. I just feel like they should be going to them more and not going to Brady Picorni all the time.
Right, the Blue Wave is playing scared football right now, which is not something we saw in the first half, and they're not very comfortable with the ball in their hand, and as you can see, this is how the Rams' first possession turned out in the beginning of the game. Ball didn't move very far down the field, and they're turning into a punt.
I mean, it almost might be something with the fact that coming into the last two Turkey Bowls, Darien came in 9-0, had some nerves. They came in today knowing they were the underdogs, played differently. Then they went into halftime, coming back out with the lead, and it might have gotten to them a little bit. So definitely a common trend, at least I see.
New Canaan with some improved field position.
Fair catch by Griffin Gettner. Ball will be spotted on their own 45.
4:47 to go now.
There's the cowbell. Got to bring that back.
Groff will take it himself up the middle, drag down.
See, what I saw right there is just an overpowering of Jack Barber. He grabbed the rush, and with every inch of his body, just took him down right there, using the strength to stop the running back for only a gain of 1.
We saw Barber force that fumble earlier in the game that then gave Darien a touchdown. Then we saw him almost block a punt a couple possessions ago. So Barber not having much trouble getting into the backfield today. As for the rest of the Darien defensive line, I would say that's a bit of a different story.
I mean, there's a reason he's going to go play football for the Fs next fall, and it's that reason right there. He just is such an impact player on the defense.
Now Groff to Telesco, flag down. False start.
Delay of game, actually.
Delay of game.
Yeah, it was getting low on it. I thought they got the snap off, but I guess the referee's going to say otherwise. And it's interesting, looking at Groff, he's running back and forth between the sideline and the huddle every play, so I'm not sure if that's some sort of comms error or if that's meant to be that way.
You know, I think this New Canaan team trusts Ty Groff. You know, as I said before, he's a veteran player with making decisions on his own. And I think that's one of the bigger things, you know, conversing with a coach before a play and having that dialogue back and forth of, hey, Ty, what do you think's going to work in this situation? And what do you want to run? What do you think might work? And, you know, Ty's been on the sideline this season with an injury, so he's been behind the scenes. He's been helping out with play calls, and I think that just shows how much of a veteran and a captain he really is.
I would say that contrasts a lot with Darien, who you can see the calls are coming from the sideline every time. The coaches are deciding the plays every single time. So certainly two different ways of running the offense.
And I actually think they're going to take that delay of game penalty off the board. I think New Canaan called the timeout, but miscommunication on the referees rather to not get it to the head referee. Because I did think it was interesting that the clock hit 0 and the head referee was the only one that dropped the flag on it.
Yeah.
Considering every official should be keeping the play clock on them. So I think they're going to charge New Canaan with the timeout, keep it 2nd and 9, and New Canaan burns their first of 3 timeouts.
Great decision by head coach Lou Marinelli for the Rams to call a timeout there, save his team.
Groff. Quick bubble screen to Telesco. Telesco turning upfield. He'll pick up 5 before he's forced out of bounds.
That play is New Canaan's bread and butter right there. That pass over to Telesco on the outside. Groff's not the, I guess he's not typically a quarterback, so he's not going to make the long Hail Mary throws, but those short screen passes have worked for the Rams all season, and Telesco's on the receiving end picking up some yards.
And a big hit by Ryan Girolamo, taking Telesco out of bounds there. It'll be 3rd and 4. 4th and 4.
Third and 4. Where'd you get the fourth down from? Going off that, it was just 0th and 0.
Buchanan quick to line up now.
They only got 4, Dylan.
Trips out to the left. Groff, quick throw. Did he make the catch? No, incomplete.
Might have been Perez Soto on the sideline, might have caught it. But clearly not the receiver, Smith, or Langford.
Will Langford, the junior. 3rd on the team in receptions with 13 so far this season, which is, I would say, pretty low for a guy who's 3rd on the team in receptions. That kind of can attest to the running game of New Canaan, how they've stuck to that most of the time.
That's going to be on number 3, Hunter Telesco there. You can't do that. But what was interesting is our team just showed the stats on there. New Canaan is 2 for 2 on 4th down so far, so they've been able to convert. And it's going to be interesting now that they're moving back, and I think they're going to bring the punt unit on and Ty Groff. So the false start on Hunter Telesco is now going to force the Rams to punt, and the stalemate continues.
Right, and 4th and 4 is a very risky go-for-it situation. And I think that flag by Hunter Telesco could have possibly bailed out the Rams from getting themselves into some bad field positioning.
Just punts back and forth that we're seeing as Briggs McGuckin goes to return this one. He is covered by a swarm New Canaan players, and the offense comes back out. Again, I feel like I sound like a broken record seeing Simeon Dahl come out with the offense at around the 20-yard line, just inside of that.
But Dylan, here's the thing you got to look at. You might be saying that over. The score's still 10-10. The defense is doing their job, giving the offense an opportunity, which is what I said coming out of the half. The defense needs to do their job. If the offense gives up that long pick 6, that's fine. The long interception return, that's fine. The defense has to do the job and stop New Canaan, which they have.
Dahl, quick handoff to Wilson. Wilson stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Right, great play. This game is battle of the defenses, and the defenses are preventing scores, and both teams have snuck through with a great drive, but overall I'd say both defenses are playing very well and creating a lot of punts. You know, just in the second half alone, we've seen a few punts already, and it's something that as we get to the end of the third quarter, it's really big to get momentum going into the fourth.
That's shocking right there. Only 19 yards on the rushing game for Jake Wilson. He's been kept pretty much at bay all game.
Here's Dahl now out to his right. Looking for Herget.
Oh, Cards guy just got a tough fall on that one.
Bounced off the chest of Herget, incomplete. And I believe that's the first time Herget's been targeted today, which is very surprising. Second
First
time.
official. The other one was more kind of in the ground, but I guess you could say it was technically intended for Herget. So this is going to be a defining moment for Darien. 2 for 7 on 3rd downs in this one. So they need a conversion here because you can't just keep going back and forth until some team eventually puts a score on the board.
Right, and you see Tucker Milligan there. That was really his first big play of the game, and you can see that shoulder brace on his right shoulder coming back from an injury. This is his first game back.
Dahl drops back, pressured once again. This time out to his left. He'll just choose to throw that one away, and it'll be 4th and 9, and Darien will punt the ball once again.
You can't be doing that if you're Darien. You need some yards. You can't go 3 and out with only picking up 1 yard on it. I mean, that's just borderline of why even going out in the first place then? I mean, yeah, you burn some time off the clock, but you're not making any offense out of it.
This game mimicking the Jets-Patriots game last Sunday. The punting back and forth and back and forth. That's what we're seeing right now. And I think we knew this would be a defensive battle, and that's what we're having right now.
10-10 instead of 3-3 is the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one is blocked.
I believe that was number 2, A.J. Bell. Hopefully we'll see here in a replay.
So that'll set New Canaan up for some great field position at about the 32-yard line. Ty Groff and the offense will take the field, looking to take their first lead of this one.
That's really what the Rams needed, to be able to get momentum back and really pick it up. This is great field positioning.
Almost looked like it hit off the helmet of somebody. Yeah, it looks like it hit off the helmet of number 2, Bell.
That did.
I mean, I guess that's the definition of putting your body on the line, getting some recounts of Scott Sterling, if you will.
Right, he got up there.
I know he did. Bell just hopped the O-line on that one. I don't think he saw the ball. I think he just saw it off his helmet. But nonetheless, he did just that, giving New Canaan the possession on the 32-yard line.
Trips out to the right side. Telesco up to the wide receiver spot. Flag down.
I think that's too many men.
Get too many men.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 guys out there.
Yep.
So too many men on the field against the Rams.
That'll move New Canaan back.
See, what we need to do for next year for DAF, we can draw on the screen, circle every player, count them out. Because you could see they clearly had too many. They had an extra receiver on that play right there. And
we won't be around for that, but
dang.
Looks like
the future of DAF Media and NCTV
for next year.
Looks like the miscommunication will be Alex Russi, the wide receiver, who was checking in for Max Alert, who's now on the sideline.
Here's Groff. Darian's going to bring it here. Groff will take it himself. He is stopped immediately by Barber and Silsby, who have just been leading this Darien defensive line all day.
They have indeed, and that was an instance where Groff got the ball. He looked right into the eyes of Jack Barber, exchanged the eye contact. He realized, I'm in trouble right now. Two big guys for Darien coming on him, sandwiching him to the ground, and a good stop for this Darien defense.
Look, and I think the idea that the Rams are going to go for right now is a play that's going to get them 6 or 7 yards, because that's really what they need to get into field goal range, and I think that's what their idea is here. You know, it's very tough to convert on these long drives for this Rams team, especially without a pass game. So looks like the Rams are going to try to set something up and maybe look for a field goal.
Groff fakes it to Telesco. Still bobbled. It's complete to Cooper Smith.
Off the foot of somebody. Smith gets it.
How about that? Can we get another look?
So who gets the reception on that? Shouldn't it? I feel like Telesco should get some part on that stat right there, considering his foot played a big part on it.
Right, so on the stat sheet, they'll give that one to Cooper Smith.
Well,
it was a great play by him.
I feel like his foot should get some credit for that right there.
Ball bobbled, kicked off of Mike Smith, caught by Cooper Smith.
Any relation?
No relation there.
Trips to the right. Groff, he'll roll to his right. He'll take it himself. Instead, he's stopped in the backfield by Darien.
And that's, again, an instance right there of Groff trying to run and just stops right there. It's going to be interesting what they do right here. I think they're going to give Groff the field goal attempt.
Walker Brown, the junior, brought the pressure.
They will. They will bring out the field goal team. This will be about a 47-yard field goal, I believe.
It's in his range here, so 47 yards. Can Groff make it?
This will be one short of his record.
47 yards.
He's got the foot. Is the wind in his favor?
Darien's getting hyped. They want to distract him.
Groff up. Oh, that's pretty. Perfect.
And the field goal is good.
Ty Groff, how about that? Best foot in the state right there. Putting the Rams up 13-10, their first lead in the game. With 3 seconds to go in the third quarter, New Canaan building more and more and more momentum here. And how about Ty Groff, the quarterback, the punter, the kicker? He's been doing everything for the Rams today.
That was amazing. And let me tell you something, that field goal had room to go.
It certainly did. That would have been good from 50.
47-yard attempt. I'm with you. I think that was good from 50, and that would have beaten his record. That one was one short of his field goal record of 48 yards. It's just amazing what Ty's been able to do this season, and the confidence that the Rams can have. Ty is such a great bailout asset for a drive like that just doesn't go your way. There was a tough penalty, and Ty Groff's able to make 3 out of it.
Certainly. As Ty will come right back onto the field to kick it away. Jake Wilson, Brady Picorni back to return for Darien.
So this is going to be a big defining possession for Darien about to ensue. They need to make sure that they are still present in this game. They still make an impact, because you can't let New Canaan keep this momentum on the side. Yes, it was a down third quarter, but you still have 12 minutes to play after this.
That one high, not as long as the earlier ones, down to the 7. Brady Picorni will return it. Picorni stopped, as that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. 13-10 our score. We're going to send you down to Cam McGraw on the sideline.
Yeah, not much more you guys could ask for in a Thanksgiving Day game. 13-10 New Canaan now coming into this last quarter. Two rivals, both student sections, as you could see, still cheering their team on. Both sides are very interested to see what happens in this last quarter. So let's see between Darien and New Canaan who comes out on top in tonight's Turkey Bowl and today's Turkey Bowl between these two great teams. Back to you guys.
Thank you for that, Cam. We'll take this quarter break as an opportunity to shout out some DAF Media fans around the country and around the world. We've got Trey Davenport watching in Montana, as well as former DAF Media member Chris Eggs Benedict, who is watching from Budapest, Hungary right now. So glad that we're able to reach the far corners of the planet. 13-10 our score. Players back on the field, Simeon Dahl and the Darien offense. And Braden, they've got to get something going now as they'll hand it off to Jake Wilson, who's tackled down immediately.
And for New Canaan, that's what they got to do right now. You just got to play the defensive battle they've been playing all game. You kept Darien at bay in the third quarter, and you're just 11 minutes away from winning another Turkey Bowl. So Darien's got to do something differently in the second half. You're right, to the point you made earlier, Gray. You can't rely on the defense to get you the good offensive possessions. You need to make some of your own on the offense, and Darien just not been able to do that.
Right, and the Rams able to take advantage of Ty's kicking ability on this possession, that last possession. We'll see if the Blue Wave can come up with something here.
Dahl now looking to McMullen.
And this is something we spoke about before, and just the risk from Dahl and those throws. You know, he wasn't able to make it out of the pocket there, but that was forced. You saw Griffin Gettner very close, maybe 2 steps away from a pick, and especially with that field positioning, that could turn to a pick six. That's something that, you know, Dahl might have to slow down and watch out for, especially with this field positioning.
Darien needs to convert right here. You can't go another 3 and out with very minimal gain.
3rd and 8. Dahl to the right. He'll throw it away again in Brady Picorni's direction, but that ball was nowhere near catchable, and Darien will have to punt once more. And this is awfully repetitive right now. The Wave can't adjust to what's going on. It's 3 and outs every single time.
Right, and I think part of this is a domino effect, and the Wave just needs something to go right for them right now, and maybe this can start here with a great punt, or maybe a fumble, cost fumble, or an interception. Blue Wave really needs something to get them going, especially with 11 minutes left on the clock.
That's big for Trevor just to get that punt clean in the air, and at least you're moving New Canaan back and see at least you're forcing the offense to get something done, because you look at the 2 most recent scores, Darien, they got the ball on a defensive error, and then the field goal from New Canaan was off of a blocked punt. So it's really been the special teams and the defense setting up the good offensive possessions, because both of these offenses haven't been great days if we're being realistic. You've seen 8 punts between the teams combined.
Darien's first drive of the game resulted in a field goal. That was something like a 40-yard drive, maybe a little more than that, and then their touchdown resulted from a fumble recovery inside the red zone. So we're yet to really see a solid drive from this Darien offense, and it's hurting them at this point in the game because New Canaan has stepped it up. They haven't made as many errors. Darien's not getting into the backfield the same way they were earlier, as Telesco will take this and pick up a couple.
And look, I think the Rams are kind of out of their desperate mode right now. They have the 3-point lead. They're confident in Ty's kicking ability. And I think they're going to continue to run the ball out, run some clock. They're going to want to make sure they don't fumble the ball. They don't want to force anything. They don't want to throw any interceptions. This is very risk-free football that the Rams are going to be looking to play in order to close out this game.
And for Darien, you just got to know that you still have time on your side. You have 10.5 minutes. New Canaan, I'm going to assume, is going to continue to pound the running game. They're a run-heavy team to start, and I don't know why they would change that now, up by 3 with only 10 minutes to play.
2nd down and 8. They'll send J.D. Brennan. Telesco will pick up 3.
And I think that's New Canaan's strategy right now. Just run that clock out, force Darien, because the more time you can take off is also the less time that Darien will have to get the offense going. And they're trailing by 3 with the offense having not the best of the last 2 possessions.
Right, and here's 3rd and 5. 3rd and 6, they will call it. Rams are going to look for a hard count here, most likely. Quarterback Ty Groff coming back to the huddle, giving the play call.
And again, New Canaan's in no rush whatsoever. They just have 10 on the play clock. But other than that, they're going to try to get that 9 minutes, 40 seconds to just tick down as long as possible.
as we spoke before, 3 for 12 on conversions. We'll see how this third down plays out.
Groff will roll to his right, whistle blown.
I don't see what the call is.
Coach
Timeout called by New Canaan. 9:33 to go in the fourth. New Canaan leads 13-10. If you're just joining us, I'm Dylan DeRiso alongside Gray Tomasco and Braden Shank.
Coach Marinelli not very happy after that whistle. Looks to be a timeout called in order to prevent maybe a delay of game. I saw the clock at 14 when Ty Groff got back to the huddle.
They were very close to having a delay of game earlier.
Right.
Then Marinelli was forced to call a timeout. His second of the half now.
You know, unfortunately, for the Rams, they only have one timeout left this half, which is difficult to use, especially as this game is so close, and it may come down to a fourth quarter situation where both teams are trying to run the ball out with low time on the clock.
It is indeed, and I think it's an interesting strategy by head coach Lou Marinelli running through his timeouts right now, because he's going to have to go the final minutes with one timeout, especially if New Canaan finds themselves in a late-minute drive where they're going to need the timeouts. They're not going to have them.
Groff now out to his right. He'll look downfield.
Good defense right there. Morgan Rubenstein. Just great fundamental defense. He was looking for Salert back in his first game on the field, and Rubenstein just got a hand in it, knocking it loose, creating the fourth down.
Morgan Rubenstein, the junior, 6 foot 170, and that's just perfect coverage. Had his left hand on the back pocket, and then got his right hand in between. And New Canaan will come back out to punt the ball. James Schwind, Briggs McGuckin back to return for the Wave.
I think that's exactly what Darien needed. Rubenstein making the right play there and shutting down that game that almost happened. That Groff-Salert connection very strong.
That punt, I think they look to be off the back foot.
Yeah, looked like it hit number 34 of the Rams, McInerney. There's going to be a flag, it appears, on the play.
We'll see what the call is here.
Darien was saying it hit off the Ram player, but the referees are going to converse on this one. Great atmosphere here at Darien High School. Both student sections packed in. I don't think there's an empty seat in this place here today.
I see some over on the New Canaan side.
Fine, you have to show me a block in the back, a call against. I think he's calling it against the Rams, potentially.
Yep. Will be on New Canaan, so that'll move the ball up.
I mean, if I was officiating, I would have a penalty on Dylan DeRiso for trying to show me up on the comment. It's a figurative of speech, man. Not an empty seat. You don't need to literally point out an empty seat.
Not an unsold ticket.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's how to put it.
Large amount of the fans here getting food down at the Darien concession stand.
Still some confusion on the Darien sideline. I think they're trying to figure out where it would be assessed, because they definitely got some yards on it. They're setting up on the 34-yard line. Head coach Mike Forget still has some questions. Just one curious man down there looking to question it all.
Just a lot of confusion going on the field right now.
I think our referee crew has done a great job in this one, officiating this game, and it's all a communication thing. They got it figured out. We're restarting.
Trips out to the right. Picorni in motion. He'll give it to Picorni. Brady Picorni dragged down for a gain of maybe 1 yard.
I don't know.
But this Darien offense is going nowhere.
Right, Jack Boutine there making the play once again. As I said earlier, he had a big sack, and once he gets one, the rest of the game is pretty much the best game of his life. And you've seen that today. He's had a lot of great tackles, and I'm thinking about 6 or 7. He's been great, and being able to bring down Brady Picorni, a player who will get very large gains on plays like that, especially the short side of the field, and that was just a great play by him.
Brady Picorni, 50 yards. It's been pretty much the main leader of this this Darien offense.
Dahl will give it to Wilson, who picks up 2 or 3.
Again, I'm not sure what Darien's doing here. They're going for the short gains, but it just hasn't really worked.
The small chunk yardage is not what Darien needs right now, as it's now going to be 3rd down and 5, and we've seen it the past, I don't know how many drives now, Braden, 5 or 6 drives where they've just made small chunk plays, or they've had Dahl rolling out, and it hasn't been successful so far.
Very important possession here for the Blue Wave.
Dahl rolling to his right. That one's complete for the first down. Briggs McGuckin.
See what I was saying, Dylan?
The junior.
You get the other weapons going on it, you're going to have positive impacts. Briggs McGuckin has had a great season for Darien. He has had 11 receptions on it, so just feed him the ball. Let him make his magic, and he does that right there, picking up the first down.
Great play by McGuckin, really bringing the Blue Wave back into this drive, and that first down was exactly what they needed, especially with 8 minutes left on the clock to drive the ball down the field and hopefully get a touchdown, which is what they're looking for.
And Darien, you just need to march it down the field. You have 8 minutes and 10 seconds left. And remember, New Canaan only has 1 timeout, so if Darien can put a score up on the board, New Canaan's really going to have their hands tied. But Darien's got to score first, which might be tough.
Wilson taken down in the backfield once again. And the Darien line hasn't done the best job of holding off this strong New Canaan defensive line, but still the play calls for Darien have not been as reactive to that as you might want.
Number 44, Charlie O'Connor, checks in for the Rams. Right side defensive end here. Chris Silvestri most likely calling in a blitz. You see the 2 outside linebackers setting up to run in.
Oh. Dahl, trouble with the snap. Under pressure, he'll throw it away immediately.
That's
Dahl has been throwing the ball away all game.
Now it looks like he did not get out of the pocket.
They're going to call intentional grounding.
They will. Flag is down on the field.
I don't know where to start on that
That
play.
is a detrimental call for Darien, moving them back once again. The Wave continuing to suffer.
I mean, let's be real. There was nothing good about that play. Bad snap. Dahl not really getting a pass off. The penalty against Darien. That's just not. I mean, I guess on the bright side, I think they. Nope, it's going to be 3rd down. Never mind. It's no positives about that.
A lot of frustration there. It's especially tough when you have the blitz coming your way and it's a tough snap and you don't have those extra few seconds because of the pressure that was called there by Silvestri.
Big 3rd down. And by big, I mean yardage-wise. Simeon Dahl drops back. He'll have to look. Complete to Herget. Trevor Herget's first catch of the game.
I mean, he's not quite there. I thought he reached a little bit more than the referees were giving him credit for. He does have a long wingspan to him, but referees are going to mark him down at the 47 of New Canaan.
He'll be about 3 yards short.
I think Darien's got to go for it.
They do have to go for it. They're going to keep the offense on the field.
You don't know how many opportunities you're going to get, and now they're starting to get those other weapons going. Briggs McGuckin, Trevor Herget, Jake Wilson's getting some rushes. You need this if you're Darien. It's all starting to come together now.
And no surprise here, they're going for it here. 4th and 3 for the Blue Wave. Very important play.
With Wilson on his right hip.
New Canaan team in tight coverage.
Dahl pressured.
He's got to get
Dahl
it. He's got to get
sacked by New Canaan.
No.
On 4th down, whistle was blown. Jake Wilson says he had the ball. What's the call now?
I don't think the ball was ever out. I think the referees miscommunicated on it because the head referee called it, but the umpires still had it live.
Darien is celebrating.
This is going to be interesting because, like I said, the guy in the white hat is your referee. He called it down. The guy in the black hat is the umpire, the second in command. He still had it in play,
as a live play.
So now both line judges are going to come over and try to assess it, but one referee called the play dead, which I think is going to screw Darien over in this.
That is.
When one referee calls it dead, the play is dead, even though I think he jumped the gun on the whistle.
Now the flag, I believe, was not on the hit itself, but the timing of the hit, which if the ball is placed dead, will cancel out, and the flag will not go against either team here.
Because right there, the ball was, that's definitely a fumble right there.
Simeon Dahl was not down. Jake Wilson recovered the fumble, started to run with it. He was going to go pick up that first down. Then the ref blew the whistle, and then Wilson got hit because he sort of stopped paying attention after the whistle was blown.
I'm wondering if we can see that again because that was clearly a fumble. I mean, he was never even down. He wasn't even close to being down on that. I think it was just a referee jumped the gun on the whistle because right here you see the good tackle from Boutine. The ball comes loose right there. His knee's not down. That is a fumble right there. And then Wilson, clear as day, picks it up. So let's see what our referee's going to say.
Now the issue is when one ref blows the whistle dead, it's very tough because some players on the field stop playing and others are still live because they see a live fumble.
So both Forget and Marinelli are going to get their explanation. Let's see the body language on it. None from Forget so far.
Very
Marinelli.
interesting how
I'm
they're going to
I'm going to say
this.
they're going to give this to Darien because Marinelli looks like he is pleading a pretty hard case over there to 2 officials. And Darien's backing off, so I think they're going to give this to Darien. Which I like that call by the officials. You get together, all 7.
He called the play over. It's a pretty agreeable call.
Yes. And now it gets interesting on that because the fumble was recovered by Darien, so I think it's going to be, I think they're replaying it actually, potentially. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but they are going to give it to Darien, and I like that call. The 7 referees know it's a big call. One of them jumped the gun. Luckily, you have the power to overturn that, and they're going to do just that. New Canaan is in disbelief right now, and I mean, it's the right call. It was a fumble.
So Darien will have another go.
Now, did the fumble, here's the replay. It doesn't look like he got the first down, but part of that is because he stopped playing because the whistle was blown
That's
dead.
what I mean. I think the referees might just replay it. They might just replay the play, I think. I don't know if you can do that, but no.
I don't think Jake Wilson would have gotten put on his back like that if he were still playing.
No, so they are going to call it a recovery for Wilson. Well, remember, Gray, the penalty on it went against Wilson, which would get him the yards because it stopped him from getting the first down.
I believe the penalty must have been an illegal hit, not a late hit, because I'd be very surprised if they didn't call the play dead and they gave him the yardage for the late hit. It must have been an illegal hit.
So again, a great job by our officiating crew to get together and figure that one out. There's 7 officials out there. They got the call right, moving it for Darien.
First down for the Wave. They'll hand it off to Wilson. And that same halfback dive that we've been seeing all day, still yet to work.
Now this was a very big momentum shift. That getting that 4th down right there, you could see the New Canaan coaches all visibly upset. New Canaan fans a bit of false excitement there for a second. That gave Darien just what they needed. They now have a great opportunity. They're in scoring position, and we'll see what they can do here.
This is big here. They're knocking on the door of the red zone. They just got to now get it closer and get some yards.
Screen pass to Picorni. Picorni immediately tackled, but he
hands it off.
Tried to do a little lateral / handoff to Trevor Herget. That didn't work out for him.
It's also not good because Tucker's got a leg to him, and I feel like you could have gotten him in field goal range, but you can't when you're on the 35 with it. I don't know if Tucker's got the range for that, especially that he just made his first career varsity field goal. I want to see this right here because Picorni somehow...
Or he fumbled it, it looks like.
That's a good save by Herget right there.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional by Picorni.
I mean, we're going to call it intentional because, I mean, it makes it look like Brady knows what he was doing on it.
3rd and 9 now for the Wave. 2 for 8, as you're seeing on your screen. Darien so far today on 3rd downs. Or 3rd and 13, excuse me. A long one. Dahl with time. He'll look to Herget. That one bounced before his feet. And it'll be 4th down and 13 now for Darien.
I think they were looking for the pass interference, but you're not getting that right there. That ball was at Herget's feet.
Uncatchable ball, indeed.
So now, what do you guys think the Darien coaching staff is thinking right now? This is a tough position. You don't have the range in the field goal, but you do need to go for it.
I think you have to go for it. You got to hope that Simeon Dahl can get the 13 yards, try to keep the chains moving. In the worst case scenario, you still pick up some yards and you give New Canaan even the worse field position. Because even if you punt it, Gray, it's a touchback, which brings them out to what, the 30?
Right.
I mean,
it would be a 15-yard difference, which really isn't much.
Yeah, so you might as well go for it. You just can't take a sack or an interception.
Over to almost complete to McGuckin as he was rocked
by number 21, Walker Blair, the player with
senior
one
captain.
arm.
And I think Jake Wilson's going to go to a referee and try to get an explanation on it.
McGuckin hurting after that one. We'll take another look.
He was just making a football
on his
play
hands.
on that. He was trying to defend it. I don't think that's really pass interference. Yeah, I think he was trying to miss McGuckin and made contact. There's nothing you can really get on that call.
That's unfortunate there for the Blue Wave. Walker Blair saving the Rams, as that would have most definitely resulted in either a touchdown or a touchdown within the next few plays. Briggs McGuckin looks like he's suffering with a bit of an injury from that hit.
Now this is a big possession for Darien. They need the defense to step up as the Rams are going to trot out with some pip in their stride. And this student section is going to get rallied up. It was a good drive for them, 42 yards, and just not able to finish on it.
Not good enough, though, when it ends at the 35-yard line.
Well, yeah.
First down for New Canaan.
Especially when you waste 5 minutes and 27 seconds.
Groff. Stuffed. Dash Ross, Jack Barber, Leighton Reeser. All in on it. 2nd down now.
And I think this is what the Rams are going to try to do. They know Ty Groff has a leg They know he can punt the football. They know they just need to run the clock. They know their defense is strong enough to hopefully shut down that Darien Blue Wave, because there will be time most likely for another Blue Wave possession here.
I think Lou Marinelli's looking for a call, because right after that play was over, he went to the line judge and kind of grabbed him and told him something. So it's almost like he was looking for a call. I don't think he's going to get it. But Darien, their defense needs to do that. They know they're going to get a running play from Groff, Reed, or Telesco. They just got to play the run defense now and try to get the offense alight.
Now Groff. He'll give it to Telesco, who was tripped up by J.D. Brennan at just a little past the line of scrimmage. As it looks like Jack Silsby is slow to get up for Darien.
It'll be 3rd and 12 here. Very difficult field positioning for the Rams. You know, 3rd down conversions, they're 25% on the day, 3 for 12. We'll see what they're able to do now. This is very important. See if the Rams convert on this 3rd down, which is, looking unlikely right now. If they're able to convert, they could run out the game clock.
Oh, that's some miscommunication on New Canaan.
Groff looking over the top, that one way out of bounds.
That's going to be intentional grounding, I think. He didn't throw that to anybody.
Groff was looked like somewhat of an option, but it's hard to tell. He faked the handoff to Tomasco.
It was an ineligible receiver, so a legal man downfield. That was the call. Yeah, because that was a very odd play. It was almost like he handed it off, but Telesco didn't want it, so he just kind of threw the pass up. But Darien, they're just going to decline that. Smart call, get the 4th down, get the offense back with Gerlamo and Schwind.
Right, and that was definitely meant to be a run. As you could see, Kalepo was downfield, the lineman blocking, and you wouldn't have a lineman blocking downfield in a place with a wide receiver. So great decision by Ty Groff to get that ball down to the receiver and just take the 4th down.
Ty Groff set the punt.
Another punt for New Canaan here. Oh, Barber almost got that again.
Not very long of a punt. It'll get a good bounce. It'll be picked up by Herget. Trevor Herget will have his first chance to run with the ball this game after picked up about 10 a couple drives ago, but didn't really have any open field. He had some there, picked up a few after returning the ball, and the Darien offense will come back onto the field.
On the punt return, Herget does have 175 yards on the return right there. That doesn't even include the one that just happened. So he's been doing a good job setting up the offense, and Darien's going to have 4 minutes and 22 seconds to work. They just got to play their game, get in their rhyme, go forward on the 3rd and 4th downs. You got to keep the chains moving and just get some possession on your side.
This is probably the most critical drive of the game for the Wave, because it could be the last with 4:22 to go. Dahl, he'll look to McMullen. Isaac McMullen's first catch of the game, picks up 5 or 6.
Seriously, where's Isaac been this entire game? He's one of the best receivers out there for Darien, and he's just not been targeted today for some reason.
The Wave have stuck mainly to Jake Wilson and Brady Picorni, throwing most of the time to Brady Picorni. Just a couple for Herget, a couple for McGuckin, 1 reception for McGuckin. Dahl alone in the backfield. He'll look way downfield to Trevor Herget. Oh! Off the tips of his fingers, and you wonder if he laid out for it. Maybe he could have gotten it, but I'm sure he wants that one back. And that's a rare dropped ball from Trevor Herget.
Right, that's the 2nd time New Canaan has been bailed out on these long balls. Walker Blair just a step behind. A great ball by Simeon Dahl. That was an amazing throw, and 2 in a row. Blue Wave almost had the ball within that red zone, which once again is definitely going to result in a touchdown, especially with how this run game has been playing out for both teams.
I like that call, though. 2nd and little, you have a play to run. Now you need to get the 1st down with the short play, though.
3rd down for New Canaan. Bring it quick to Herget. 1st down, flag down. And about 5 more after that. Trevor Herget. Now they're throwing the ball to the 2-8.
I think they're saying it's going to be on number 3, Isaac McMullen. So that's coming back, I think. Ineligible man downfield on the Wave.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
That's not a penalty you see too often, and having one from each of these two teams
drives
is, very unfortunate, and you almost wonder if it's player error or if it's just a bad play call, and the player wasn't really aware of what was going on.
3rd down and 9 for the Wave now.
Huge possession. If the Wave get a touchdown here, the Rams can no longer rely on Tigeroff's leg. They will need a touchdown.
Liam McBride and Will Johnson on the field now for Darien. We haven't seen those two today.
Third down, though, for Darien.
Dahl looking to Herget. Herget is there! Trevor Herget down to the 10-yard line. How about that? The Blue Wave are in the red zone.
What a catch by Trevor Herget. You could tell he was not happy with the last one. Just off his fingertips. Made the adjustment. Picked one up right there and beat his defender, giving this Darien team some life.
And we've been waiting for a big Trevor Herget moment all game. We knew it had to happen eventually, and there it was. And now Darien in the red zone. Quad receivers out to the right side. McMullen to the left. Dahl alone in the backfield. Dahl bumbling with the snap. He'll have to get rid of that one. Throws it away.
As long as you don't turn the ball over or come up empty-handed here, Darien's going to be happy with this possession. Tucker Stevens shown that he can make the field goal. So you can give it to him if you get yourself down fourth down. So again, interception, fumble recovery. Not getting points at all is the three things Darien can't have happen and would kill them in this game. As Dahl has not had the best of games, only 105 yards. He has had a couple interceptions, but 7 for 26 is not great for Simeon Dahl.
Johnson and McBride remaining on the field for the Wave. Looks like Darien will have trips to the right side. Two receivers to the left. No Wilson on the field, no McGuckin on the field. Will Johnson was wide open in the end zone. Dahl didn't see him. Dahl will run with it now. Dahl still going, makes it down to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Johnson was wide open on that right there. I'm not sure why he didn't pass it to him, but Dahl did a great job recovering on it, getting it down to the 2-yard line. And that's fine if you're Darien. You're keeping the clock ticking. Again, New Canaan with one timeout left. If Darien scores right here, New Canaan is going to have a tough time to try to score.
My hockey color commentator, Will Johnson, could have had a hero moment. Simeon Dahl didn't see him, though, decided to take it himself. Darien's still in good position here. 3 yards to the goal line. Third down. 2:12 to go.
You can see Stevens warming up his leg here, knowing an important PAT is coming up. This will be very crucial as the Rams do feel comfortable in Tigeroff's leg, so getting that lead to 17 if the touchdown happens is going to be very important to keep holding it.
Timeout, Mike Forget with 1 on the play clock. And as I was just saying to you, Gray, if Tucker misses the PAT, hypothetically, the Tigeroff field goal, we're tied at 16, go to overtime. So Tucker, the sophomore kicker, has got to get the leg ready. I've been talking with him all week. Tucker, great kid. He knew this game could come down to a kick, and there is a chance it might. So Darien's got to get the 3 yards first and then get the kick. Good timeout taken by Mike Forget, stopping the clock with 2:12. Regrouping here, trying to get the offense on the same page because 3 more yards is all you need. Timeout, Darien.
Stevens warming up. You said possibly for a PAT. It could be for a field goal, too.
That is true.
Listen, 3rd and 2. What do you guys think? If it gets to a 4th and 1, 4th and 2 situation, potentially,
you gotta
is the Wave going for the field goal, or are they going for that 1 yard?
If Darien had their playoff position locked down, I would say maybe you go for it. You try to win the Turkey Bowl. But this is a must-win game for Darien. If not, they are eliminated. Their season ends right now. So we'll see if we get to that point.
We'll see, Dylan. I agree with you 100%. They need the points, Gray. I don't think they care how they win this. They need points, nonetheless.
Taking up the entire length of the field, the width, sorry.
I'm not sure what's happening with the referee.
2:01 you want?
Oh, they want 2:01 on the scoreboard, so I guess the clock
run it down 4 seconds.
Wasn't ticking or something. Again, I'm just going to blame Sweeney for that. Great PA announcer, Anthony Sweeney in there.
Trips to the left side, 2 to the right. Dahl will take it himself. Dahl is rocked. Goodness me. That's a great stop by Salmini.
Matthew Salmini is the biggest middle linebacker with the best mentality, and he moves just as you saw there, and there he is. He's been quiet for about a quarter, but this guy has been making plays the entire day. He's in on every tackle. He has a ton of assisted tackles. You can see right here, he just comes around, he grabs it. He uses his strength to pull the guy backwards, and that's just a great play by him.
Simeon Dahl almost went Superman. And Matt Salmini said, not today.
And here's our situation, 4th and 2. It looks like Darien will not bring out the field goal team.
No, they're not. They're going to go for it. And this could be the deciding play in this game.
Now, let me tell you, this is the deciding play in this game. I think if the Wave doesn't get a touchdown here, you're going to need a miracle to get back in. And, you know, with a touchdown, that could very well seal the game, as, you know, we've seen the Rams struggle with possession, and, you know, the fastest possession they had was 53 seconds, but then you see the other one with 9 minutes, and you don't have 9 minutes on the clock left to play.
No, you do not.
You don't have 9 minutes to drive the ball down the field, and especially with momentum in Darien's favor, you know, it's highly unlikely that a possession is going to be able to go through.
New Canaan stops him here. We see him going to that jumbo set. Darien with 1 timeout left. This could be it for the Wave. Trips to the left side. 2 receivers to the right. Dahl, quick. Dahl over. Is he in? New Canaan celebrating. He is not in. New Canaan ball. The Rams stop the Wave at the goal line. Silence overtakes the Darien side of the stadium.
I don't understand that call from Darien. You have a kicker in Tucker Stevens who can kick the ball. Why don't you try to take the 3 points? Dahl has struggled in the red zone. The 2 yards wasn't a gimme on that.
And even if you did want to go for it, you also have a running back named Jake Wilson, who is suited much better for that situation rather than Simeon Dahl. They tried the same play. The last play was Simeon Dahl. So if anything, New Canaan was ready for that. And now New Canaan, with the ball at about the half-yard line, they're going to have to fight to get it out. So not quite out of the woods yet are the Rams, but that is a massive stop for New Canaan. Darien loading up this line now.
Right, safety territory. You know, this is something that looks like they're going to try and get 1 or 2 just to get out of that zone. You can see the New Canaan students section here, very eager to hopefully take the field. But this is honestly, I wouldn't call the game over yet.
No, certainly not. And we look back to that play, Darien going for it there, and you think if Darien goes for the field goal, they kick the field goal, they make it, then New Canaan would still have a minute 45 to drive down the field.
Well,
and
they would have 1 touchdown to do so. The cards were in the favor of just kicking the field goal because New Canaan coming out and scoring isn't. I don't understand that call. I don't like that call, and there's a chance Darien's going to lose on that call.
Right, this is battle of the trenches here. It doesn't look like there's going to be
Darien's got to burn a timeout. They do burn a timeout, I believe.
Will that be their last?
That is their final timeout.
Which, I mean, at that point, you're looking for potentially a punt return for a touchdown, if I'm doing my math right. Because you take the quick play here, the 40 seconds will bring it down to 14 just about.
Right, obviously the Rams are going to be looking to punt here on 4th down, but, you know, if they don't get a yard or 2 on this third down possession, there's not going to be a lot of room for Ty Groff to get that kickoff.
I mean, that's, I guess, the one thing that could go wrong is a special teams error, a bad snap or something.
Right. This is still a very dangerous situation. The Rams are in horrible field positioning, and you know, they squeezed out their lead. They have 54 seconds left, but there are a million things that can go wrong right here, and I think everyone in the stadium is very nervous, especially the players, and everyone knows that this could be dangerous for either team.
New Canaan excited, but still holding their breath. They know that they've still got to fight here for these last few plays. And they've been doing a good job pushing today, I'll tell you that.
Start the play clock. Let's go. I think that might be the game right there.
Will that be the game? Not quite. 3-second difference. 2.5.
Well, it looks like we could have a Jets-Patriots situation, as you said before. That's what Darien's hoping for. It looks like they will
They'll run it down. It will be the last play. We'll see what they decide to do as the New Canaan students have all come down from the stands, lined the field. They are ready to rush the field.
Now here's what I recommend for New Canaan.
Take the penalties?
They're going to have 3 seconds left. You know, you can either take a snap and just, run the ball out, right?
You take the safety at that point, snap it off to Groff, have him just run around. You take the delay of game. That's a good call, because what's the worst? It sets you back. Oh, no. There's still 2 seconds left. No, fans.
And the New Canaan fans have all rushed the field.
That's a penalty, but it's not going to matter. That's
Still 2 seconds left. The New Canaan students rushing the field prematurely.
And
this game is not over yet.
New Canaan coaches can't be too happy about that. A penalty on the fans. Everyone's very disappointed. And, unfortunately for Darien, that's really only going to pull New Canaan back a half a yard and have a distance to the goal line, which really won't do much.
But it's also a delay of game on top of that. So it's 2 penalties against the Rams. But, again, it's only going to set them back a couple yards. I mean, if I'm New Canaan, I would even say go for it on 4th down. I mean, what's the worst that happens? As long as you don't fumble it.
Listen, if your run takes less than 2 seconds, the issue is
then
Darien gets
by
one
the
more
time
play.
that the referee signals it and the guy stops the clock, I think that would be 2 seconds.
Darien does have no timeouts.
Or you snap the ball, run it out of the back of the end zone to run out the rest of the clock. It looks like they will punt it. Ty Groff will have
Not too sure about that
10
punt.
yards of space.
Like I said, if I was Marinelli, I would take the safety right here. Two points. They also, then you wouldn't get to return this. So I think he's just going to take the safety. Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Groff will run the clock out.
He's just going to take
And
the
that
safety.
will be your 2022.
Why doesn't he run all the way?
The play.
Ty Groff will win.
The play was
Hold
not
on.
over.
The play. But wasn't the play? I don't think was over on it technically.
It's over. Game is over. New Canaan wins the 28th Turkey Bowl.
But I don't think the play was technically, because Groff never went out on it. I'm just saying, I don't think the play is technically
It's over. New Canaan has won it. The Rams come home. They win yet another Turkey Bowl, and Gray, coming from New Canaan, talk about the excitement that these players and these fans are feeling right now.
Listen, the Turkey Bowl is one of the best things that New Canaan prides, and I believe this is their 5th win in a row, and it's just the best thing in the world to be able to say, New Canaan-Darien rivalry, to have 5 years in a row in one event. Because, most of the time, Darien will come back in states and beat New Canaan and take the state championship. But the Turkey Bowl is something that the Rams have a ton of pride in. It's talked about at school. Ty Groff's going to be a hero. Jack Boutine's going to be a hero. All those guys will be praised for the next few weeks leading into the win.
And I'm sure not only is New Canaan excited that they won the Turkey Bowl, they also ended Darien's season, being the final game of the regular season. This was a must-win for Darien to make the state playoffs. Darien did not do that, and an unfortunate way as far as Darien goes for the seniors to go out, but a great win from New Canaan. And at the end of it, I think a lot of it came down to the offensive play calling. Braden will talk about it. Darien constantly, they were driving every time they got the ball, so many times throughout the second half. Same plays, same old. I sounded like a broken record every time Trevor Herget would come out to punt the ball, and it seemed like they were going nowhere. And at the end of the day, I think it really came down to the offense, because the Darien defense played very solid. We knew this would be a defensively dominated game. Darien had the ball down in the red zone. That final play, maybe not the best play call as far as the QB sneak with Simeon Dahl over the top. Personally, I know you disagree with me. I think that going for it on 4th down was the right call. I know you wanted the field goal, but as far as the play call went with the QB sneak, I didn't think that was the right call. But at the end of this all, Braden, any final thoughts?
Like I said, I'm going to disagree with that call no matter what you say. You're playing for your season out here today. And you have a kicker like Tucker Stevens, who I think the chances would be in his favor to kick the 3 points and get you the tie game. The way that Darien's offense was rolling in the second half, I didn't trust them to get that 1 or 2 yards, and they didn't. I just think that the easier play would have been to kick the field goal, because you'd rather have New Canaan beat you on the offense. You'd rather have them, go to overtime, have them beat you, go the 10 yards, score the touchdown. I just think that it's a bummer that they couldn't get the yards on it, and just like that, the game is over.
Right, and we're going to have some player interviews coming up in a short bit, so stay tuned here. Some great players. I believe we're going to get Matt Salmini interviewed here, and just performance from seniors and veterans like Matt Salmini and Ty Groff for the Rams.
Salmini, that huge stop on
Right.
Simeon Dahl down on that third down.
And then you have players like Dahl and Hargett who were able to make huge plays that really shifted momentum, and that long pass, there were 3 big long pass opportunities that almost got Darien a touchdown, and one brought them all the way down to the goal line, which, they were stopped, which isn't something that happens, 9 times out of 10. I'd say you get a touchdown in that situation. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way of the Wave.
And as far as Darien goes, this feels a lot different than last year for them. Last year, they knew that all they would have to do after this would win the first round of states. Then they had another shot at New Canaan. This year, their season is over. And for the seniors, I feel for them having to end a season like this. But for Darien, they got beat today, and I think a lot of it did come down to the coaching. Darien had a lot of talent, a lot of great players, but they didn't utilize those players until the final drive of the game. And up until then, I think a lot of it came from the offensive play calling, which just was not great. And as far as my analysis goes, defensively, great play on both sides of the ball, punting back and forth and back and forth. And how about Ty Groff with that amazing field goal kick? You have to give him so much credit for that, helping to lead the way for the Rams.
I mean, I said it in the Greenwich game. You got to convert when you're in the red zone like that. You can't just come up empty-handed. And I still disagree with that call, but I think there's a lot to be put on the coaching staff for this one. The call to go for it on 4th down. Dahl tried to hurl and couldn't quite get there. It's just, I'm at a loss of words right now when you had the opportunities the entire second half there in that offense, but just couldn't get going on it. I mean, how many drives did they go 3 and out with 1 or 2 yards picked up? So they had the looks, and finally things started clicking, and they couldn't convert on it. They did not score a single point in the second half of this game.
Right, and that's what's very difficult is both these teams have struggled the entire season with offensive play calling, and the play calling hasn't been that great for both of these teams. And really and compared to past years, and I think that's shown here in a lower scoring game, and the whole year has been battle of the defenses. Both these defenses have been amazing.
Certainly.
A stat that needs to be double checked, but I believe New Canaan only let in 69 points the entire season with their defense, which is great, and Darien's is close to the same.
Yeah, and with this win for New Canaan, they're now going to host a game in the first round of the playoffs. It's looking like it's most likely going to be Naugatuck in the postseason, and I think we got someone sidelined.
So we're going to go down to the field. Matt Salmini, Cam McGraw, as they set up. Cam McGraw interviewing Matt Salmini, the captain for the Rams.
Couldn't quite hear Cameron on that one. Our apologies on the technical side, but it sounded like a great interview from Matt Salmini and Cam McGraw. And
looked like one from here.
It definitely did, and just a crushing defeat for Darien. Really is.
Let me tell you something. Matt Salmini here, he's got his fan club behind him. He's getting, this is his second interview. He's in my opinion, player of the game, Matt Salmini, and being able to make those huge stops on the goal line and have such a strong leadership position, as well as, he must have had 9 or 10 tackles that game, and you could see him getting swarmed there, and he's really a player of the fans and someone that everyone in New Canaan loves.
That should just about wrap it up here from the stadium field. Our final score, 13-10, New Canaan Rams beating the Darien Blue Wave on their home turf. A great game, a beautiful day for football it was. Dylan DeRiso, Gray Tomasco, Braden Shank. It was a pleasure being with the both of you this morning. DAF Media, of course, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. It was a great co-broadcast alongside NCTV.
Yep, was indeed.
And we'd like to wish you all so much a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the long weekend. And we are going to sign off for now.
Well, first we got to shout out our amazing production crew. Dylan here working this Thanksgiving, getting this all
we had to roll
ready.
credits. That was going to go.
We should still give them the shout out. We're going to take a look at it. I think this was one of the best productions we've had of the Turkey Bowl in recent years. Great crew. I know our DAF seniors stepping up big. Gray, I cannot thank you enough for coming out. It was a pleasure calling a game with you. I know our graphics guys, all of them doing a great job. Dylan, great job as always. I just want to shout out all of the amazing people that worked behind the scenes, bringing the sights and sounds in this one. Connor Russo, Cam McGraw, Danielle O'Malley, Cameron. I already said Cam McGraw, but in our truck we got Liam Tomaszewski, Cooper Kelly, and Michael Mercian, Emily Fox. We should be having the credits roll.
A few more. There's so many.
Here we are. Here's our full credits roll. But nonetheless, I just cannot thank all of them for coming out and giving their heart and soul into this production right here. Last year at Dunning Field, the year before at Darien, and I know Dylan, me and you, our senior year. Couldn't have asked for a better crew. Hey, there's the names of the people that worked really hard. The three of us up in the booth probably sick and tired of our voices, but Cam McGraw, Danielle O'Malley, Michael Mercine, cannot thank him for all of his work planning this thing out for the past 2 months. Our graphics team, Dalton Moss, Cooper Kelly, Liam Tomaszewski, our cameras, Jason Bellingham, Anav Sahai, Connor Russo, Sydney Sibilia, and Charlie Place, and of course our amazing advisors, Damian Andrew, Bruce Ferguson, Roman Sobolski.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your Thanksgiving from all of us here. Happy Thanksgiving, and have a nice weekend.